Hello, sumo fans.
Are you hype yet?
Oh my goodness. I'm still like vibrating from the energy of this tournament.
I know, it was a day ago, but it's just not going to leave.
No. There's going to be no post-sumo blues. It's like the whole week I'm just going to be shaking.
Because you're going to get all the promotions, and you're going to get all the interviews, and, Chris Sumo's put some stuff up already, so you'll have plenty of content to get you to July.
Goodness. So, first and foremost, congratulations to new Yokozuna Onosato, who's got a nice picture this time.
Yeah, they really did Hoshiryu dirty, I think, but,
this time it's good.
First Japanese Yokozuna in 10 plus years or something like that.
Since his master Kiseno Sato.
How great is that?
Yeah, Kiseno Sato, he must have just felt so horrible because he becomes Yokozuna, he gets injured, and he barely does anything with it.
The whole country were putting all of their hopes and dreams on Kiseno Sato, and he had to wait all this time, but now he raises up
the next
Japanese Yokozuna. He's going to be a legend now.
Yeah, he's gonna, good for him, good for Onosato, well-deserved, beautiful, record-breaking. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into a lot. There's so much stuff that happened.
We have paragraphs of things to say.
The amount of just reconciling of all the stuff that went on. There's so much hype.
It's like a county. You got to close the books out.
Oh my! We've got a lot. Let's get into it. No more talking, but more talking. You get it.
I get it.
So first and foremost, we start at the top as we always do with the Yokozuna. Hoshoryu 12-3,
and it's not even good enough to be like on the last day. Who's gonna win? How great is that the level has been elevated?
So for Hoshoryu specifically, understandably, his performance was overshadowed a little bit by certain record-breaking, almost Zensho Yusho winning performances. Perfectly fine, but going in, we were like, Hoshoryu needs to put on full 15, we said, and then a Yokozuna caliber kind of a performance, and that's exactly what he did.
Yes.
That 12-3, that is a Yokozuna record, and he looked like a Yokozuna, he fought like a Yokozuna, and it was also in his brand of sumo. He was always looking for an attack.
Right. You don't see him shrinking away. Like, if anybody's new to sumo, there was a period of time in the post-Hakuho, and we won't count Teruno Fuji in that, in the post-Hakuho era where guys would have good tournaments, but it was an extraordinary thing. With Hoshoryu, he kind of showed like, no, this is the level that I bring. I'm confident, but he's still not quite there yet to say do a Zensho.
Yeah, he's growing into it, but like this is the pivotal first step.
Yes,
because he became Yokozuna. He got the injury. It was 5-5-5, and then it's sort of you have the detractors who are like he's not ready, and then you have the fans or just the hopefuls who are like, okay, let's see what he does in May, and then we can pass judgment.
Yes.
The judgment is 12-3.
Beautiful.
Exceptional. Also, the way he stayed present. Like, there were a few times, I think Gonoyama, Hakuoho, Daisho, they had him moving back. And Hoshoryu used his speed, his technique, and the confidence that he's always had to reverse the attack and turn what could have been a loss into a win.
You need to have that if you're going to be Yokozuna.
Yes.
You need to believe you are going to win every match, and then you sort of bring it to fruition.
Yes, and like this is what we needed to see out of him in May to be like, okay, he's a Yokozuna.
Yes.
It looks like things will be fine. And also keep in mind, Hoshoryu will grow into it.
And so I think everybody has to grow into these roles, right? You can't train for Ozeki as Sekiwake.
No.
You can't train for Yokozuna as Ozeki. So for all the people who say he wasn't ready, you're missing the point. You're either Yokozuna or you're not. And if you are Yokozuna, then you learn to be a Yokozuna. You can't understand it until you're in it. I think it was Hakuoho who said when he was fighting Hoshoryu, he felt the immense pressure of the crowd, and it was like nothing he'd ever seen. And Hoshoryu has to do this all 15 days. You can't prepare for that. You have to just be in it. So you have to have the good bones, which, regardless of the naysayers, he is one of the most technically skilled wrestlers in the top division. That's why he's here. And he has the confidence that you cannot teach. You have to just intrinsically believe in yourself. So now, as all wrestlers, this is true, but certainly for Hoshoryu, he's done this his whole career. He's been a slow builder, and he's learned on the job. He will become, like, give it, a couple of years, and you see a much leveled up Hoshoryu than you do right now. Thank goodness he's headed in the right direction.
Yes. And so another thing to add on top of this is now he's going to have a second Yokozuna. He's going to have a rival. He's going to have somebody to share the rank, the burdens, the responsibilities, the photo shoots, the commercials. He's going to have Onosato with him. A lot of times historically, you have these Yokozuna rivalries, and it's those rivalries that bring out the best in both of them.
Isn't it like iron sharpens iron kind of thing?
Oh, yeah. This is what we're going to get when we have Hoshoryu and Onosato together.
I do not think Yokozuna is meant to be a sole responsibility. I think you can only have a truly good quality Yokozuna if there's more than one because of that factor. These two will be constantly thinking about each other when they go to fight, and they will constantly be adjusting their level to make sure that they're keeping pace, and so they will train harder, they will fight smarter. It is good for them, it is good for sumo, and what's interesting is this Yokozuna thing. They're going to be rivals, I have no doubt, but at the same time, only they can understand the role they're in, so they're going to also have this like brotherly thing, because even Hoshoryu said at the end of the tournament, it was something along the lines of, well, now I got somebody to share it with. He kind of made that statement.
So getting Hoshoryu as Yokozuna was it was the passing of the torch from Terunofuji onwards. And it was now that we have two Yokozuna, two strong young guys who are going to bring us the gift of at least 5 years of absolute carnage.
After so many years of nothingness.
This is the beginning of the era. This is the new era. So everybody's talking about, Hakuho, Kakuryu, Harumafuji, all the people of old, they go away. Terunofuji, Takakeisha sort of like hold the line. And now, starting in July, the new height will be brought. And
yeah.
So this is what you look forward to for Hoshoryu specifically, is that now he's going to have more motivation. And now that he's done that 12-3, we're like, okay.
This is baseline for him
now. Now we have some confidence that he can do what he needs to do.
Now, let's just talk for a moment on his actual tournament. If you see the 3 losses, this was a good sign, right? Abi and Oho are in his head, and Kirishima and him, they have been rivals forever, since they were kids.
That Kirishima-Hoshoryu match, was watching an Ozeki fight a Yokozuna. That was an exceptional match for both of them.
Kirishima is Ozeki, still Ozeki level when he's not hurt.
Yes.
So it's good that we didn't see him lose like we did last tournament to guys like, Hiraomi or even the Waka brothers. These are matches that when he's not completely on, you get worried, but he was so on. And if not for Onosato's amazing run, we'd be saying something different about Hoshoryu right
Potentially.
Now, final point that I want to talk about is his head-to-head with Onosato. What's going on? I mean, I think it was really good for him and Onosato, believe it or not, for him to beat him on the last day. Because Onosato is just so good that if he wants to live out the Yokozuna dream, he's already got to start thinking about the next level, and that's going to put that in his head, losing to Hoshoryu. I went back and watched all of the Hoshoryu Onosato matches because I'm like, what's he doing? How is this happening? I need to understand this. And 5 out of the 6 wins were throws. He's got this way. You can actually see the formula where Hoshoryu, even though he's upright, he twists the hip, he plants the foot, and he can throw you from either side, which wrestlers have preferred sides that they can throw you from. Hoshoryu doesn't seem to have a preferred side. So you can't just say, okay, he's going to throw me from the right. It's like he can just shift a little bit and throw you from the left. Skill sets like that nobody really notices is why Hoshoryu's got Onosato's number. The one time it wasn't a throw, he grabbed his arm in a last minute. Onosato had blasted him back. He grabbed his arm at the last minute and pulled him out. which is more of a comment on Onosato's approach to fighting Hoshoryu than it is a Hoshoryu situation. Onosato's plan is, I'm going to crush this guy. I must smother his arms, get him out of position, and get him out quick so he can't do anything to me. And the one time he beat him, that's exactly what he did. But Hoshoryu is wise to this, and he's fast. So it might just be that this is an incompatible clash between Onosato and Hoshoryu. They're just two very different fighters, and so far Hoshoryu's style is superior to Onosato's in that head-to-head.
This is the perfect kickstart to the rivalry also, because Onosato, breaking records with the fastest ever, never has a Makakoshi, all this other stuff. But once the party's done, he's going to be staring at that one, and he's like, I want that.
Yep.
That is the rivalry.
Yes.
That is
so
what
great.
we want.
So great.
So, well done, Hoshoryu.
Yes.
I think, yeah. So now we have okay, he actually is. Because I know I am a Hoshoryu fan. I'm a fan of everybody in the top 42 to whatever. But I'm looking at this. I'm like, okay, if he actually is gonna have trouble with the rank, it's like, maybe there's a problem. No problem.
Yeah, and coming from being a Takakeisho fan to Hoshoryu, you're always gonna have a little bit of fear in your heart.
A little fear.
So thank you, Hoshoryu.
Well done. So on to Onosato,
the man of the hour.
Ozeki won East for not much longer.
Nope.
14-1. So there's not really too much for us to say that hasn't already been said, that hasn't already been shouted from the rooftops. And
yes.
A well-deserved absolute dominance. The two big things for me that stick out. One is that he almost never moved backwards.
Yeah.
He did move backwards against Takeru Fuji, but that's just how he beats Takeru Fuji. Takeru Fuji hits in. He's just like, okay, whatever. He steps back. He slaps him down.
Right. He knows this is coming. And, Takeru Fuji, he should know this is coming, too.
He should know this is coming. This goes into Onosato is deceptively very smart and tactical about what he does. He looks like it's just unga bunga, I go forward. But the way he was able to maintain momentum and neutralize and always be forward, that was the thing that we're like, you need to fix this or you're never meeting Yokozuna. He fixed it.
Yeah, he leveled up. That's why you're seeing there's such a difference between him in this tournament in January, for instance.
Yes.
He went back, worked on what was important, which was he was going back too much. Or he was getting hit from the side and he couldn't handle it. It just threw him completely off balance. He made sure to be moving around. His plan is, if I move forward in whatever direction I need to, so if it's lateral, if it's horizontal, I need to position myself to move forward. And that's the game plan. And that's what he did. He executed it near flawlessly, with the exception of, Takeru Fuji. He didn't do that, but he still won the match.
He realized he didn't need to.
Exactly.
He just I know how to beat this guy.
The most impressive thing was the Wakataka Kage match, because Wakataka Kage is great on the angles, and he's beaten Onosato that way before.
He was so close to beating Onosato, but it was Onosato who figured out in the moment how to handle the enormous pressure, how to redirect.
Well, a lot of fighting is controlling the distance. And so Onosato made sure that Wakataka Kage didn't have much room to pull any of his fancy moves. And that's actually also why he lost to Hoshoryu. He gave him way too much room to do what he needed to do. But in most matches, he closed the distance so quickly and so effectively that even if you're a talented guy, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah. There was a moment that I was looking at who Onosato had fought. Because it was 8-9. He was it was 9-0 or so. He was right here, he beats Ura. And I'm looking back and I'm like, okay, 9-0 is impressive, but he hasn't fought anybody real. I'm like, who's the real person he needs to fight for me to get on this hype train? And right here, when he beat Wakataka Kage, I'm like, he's going to do it.
Right, it's done.
It's there was still the outside chance that maybe it was a 13-2 or even a 12-3, but once he beat that Wakataka Kage, once he fought the way he did, Wakataka Kage gave him absolutely the best sumo, and Onosato was able to outlast it. It's he's done it.
And not only that, just you could see the focus was on, okay, no matter what he's doing, I'm getting him out. And he sort of went forward, sideways, I guess.
Yes. Onosato does have real crazy lateral control.
Yes.
Particularly for somebody of his size. And he relied on it in the past. And now it's just like, I don't need it anymore. But it's still there if something happens.
Right. So he has been able to. There's a couple matches where, it looked like something could go wrong, but he just controlled it so quickly that,
So very well done on Osato. I'm pretty sure everybody is just so hyped.
I mean, we might as well go down the list. Fastest promotion to Yokozuna. Will never face a demotion in his entire career. What's the other? Was there any others?
Yeah, it's fastest. No demotions. No Makakoshis. Just absolutely handled the amount of pressure that we have seen crush so many others.
It's helped him a lot to have, it's Nisho Noseki, but the former Kisen Osato as a coach. They are actually training together. And Onosato was learning, because I guess Kisen Osato, he can't beat him. I mean, he could beat him for power if they're really going, but Kisen Osato's defensive skills are just unmatched. He gets to see, I need to get even higher. This is Yokozuna quality. If this guy didn't get hurt, Kisen Osato would have been an amazing Yokozuna.
Onosato has a very bright future. And as we said, now the future of sumo is looking absolutely stellar for the next few years.
I want to say, we did say that we were probably getting 2 Yokozuna in 2025.
It was an optimistic pull, but we got there.
Pretty quickly,
Very quickly.
I thought it would be November, but... Here we are. It's great.
2 Yokozuna. Well done, Onosato. So, next up, the other Ozeki, one West, Kotozakura, 8-7. He's fighting his knee as well as his opponents, but he is giving it his all.
He's gritting it out.
He is good. It is a Yokozuna, well, not an Ozeki spirit, and also you can tell that he absolutely desperately wants to get to that top rank, but it's just he's fighting himself, and that it sucks.
There's so much going on in this guy's he has a situation.
Yeah. So when he fought Wakataka Kage, when he fights Gonoyama getting one on him, that's the eyebrow raise.
That's a bad sign, yeah.
When he fights Hoshoryu, and then the all important Onosato Clintz match. Those are all fights that his knee failed him. He was betrayed.
Right. You could see as soon as he got pushed back, he could not resist.
But he was still able to build those defenses. So Abi, Hirada Umi, Aonishiki, all they're trying to push in on him, but he holds in. He holds firm. He could make it work.
The fact that he, in the state he's in, could still beat Aonishiki. And now I know Aonishiki is green. We're giving him too much hype in some ways, but the fact that he could beat Aonishiki means there's still a lot in the tank. It's just not where it needs to be for him to rise up to the next level.
I also do enjoy when he fought Ichi Yamamoto. Ichi Yamamoto tried absolutely everything he could. Bless Ichi Yamamoto. We love him here.
He is awesome.
He tries pushing. Kotozaku's like, nah. Tries pulling. Kotozaku's like, nah. He goes in for a grapple. Kotozaku's like, nah.
That's not going to happen.
Ichi Yamamoto looked this panicked look on his face. He's like, nothing's working. That is the Kotozakura Ozeki that I looked at him and was like, it's still in there.
And size-wise, which is probably what hurt his knee, unfortunately,
Maybe.
He can go chest to chest with Onosato like no one else can. So if he can heal, he could be a real, there's a handful of guys that could test Onosato.
Yeah.
And Kotozakura is one of them if he can heal.
I'm looking forward to that. Oh, as a side note, thinking of Kotozakura and the Onosato Clintz match, I will say that moment was particularly special for me and us because we shared it with our friends at the Sunday morning sumo show.
That was a fun night.
That was an exceptional night. We all got to see it together, build out.
That was the first time all 4 of us were on at the same time.
It was an awesome time. So a shout out to Sunday morning sumo show for inviting us along to hang out. They do a great live English commentary. It's a lot of fun over there, and I mean for me at least, it made that evening all the more special.
Yes. And I will say about Kotozakura, there was a time where he was sort of, I don't want to say uninteresting, but just he wasn't the guy that I was paying super attention to. I actually thought he would get to Yokozuna before Hoshoryu. Then he goes on the run and gets hurt. And it's so reminiscent of what happened to my dear friend Taki Keisho. And then you have, after the Onosato match, I guess the translated interview said that when he was asked about it, He simply said, "I'm sorry." And we know he's gone to the grave of his grandfather. He's been raised in sumo to be a big name, and now it's all come crashing down. Now my heart is, I'm becoming a bleeding heart for Koto Sakura. This was bound to happen. So now I will be sincerely rooting for Koto Sakura to turn this around. I hate that he must be feeling such horrible feelings as these two have surpassed him, and he went on the run first.
He was on the run first, and both of them have just passed him by. You can tell he's just not content with being Ozeki. But he does have the makings of being an awesome Ozeki.
He does, and for now, maybe that's what he has to concentrate on.
Yeah, but it is. I would agree with you that, like, sort of seeing the grit, the resolve as this adversity crashes down upon him, like that kind of endearing quality.
It's what shows you the real stuff of a sumo wrestler.
The real.
When your back is up against the wall, what are you going to do? How are you going to overcome? And we've talked about this before with the injury. As Ozeki, you can't take time off. You take time off, the rank is gone. So hopefully it can heal within, like, he can do the things he needs to do to heal.
Yeah. So I will hold positive thoughts for Koto Sakura, who will now be the only Ozeki come July.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping that he can pull it back together. I do think, as we said, if he can fix the knee, if he can build back up again, he can
really challenge these guys.
He can make a run for it.
Yep.
So next up we have Daisho Sekiwaki 1 East, 10-5, absolutely beautiful, consistent, blistering power, everything you like about Daisho. So he does his destruction of Oho, Kirishima, and Hakuoho, who are people who are doing pretty well for themselves. Particularly Kirishima. The Daisho-Kirishima rivalry is stellar.
It really is. And
Daisho's back to winning it. So worth noting is, and this is always the case, like when it's the pusher thrusters, when they go at it, it's like whoever's stronger typically wins. Mm-hmm. Daisho is realizing he's no longer the strongest pusher thruster, but the reason why he's still at Sekiwake is because he's evolving.
Right.
So when he hits up against Abi, Gonoyama, and Takeru Fuji, it's not raw power. It's his sumo sense and it's his parry. He has this real sick left chopping parry. Mm-hmm. He times it perfectly. And so, like, Abi just comes crashing down. Gonoyama hits the dirt.
They know it's coming, and they still can't avoid it.
They can't. This is that sixth sense.
And it's also the positioning, right? If he gets into that position and you're out of position, there's nothing you can do.
You're done. It is that split second. Daisho is honing in on that. And again, he still has that blast out power.
Right.
It's just he realizes that against some people, now he has a different tool set. Now he's, even at Sekiwake, he's still building things up and keeping what works, refining it.
Well, if you want to know more about this, the Sumo Salon episode on pusher thrusters, particularly when they're talking to Tamawashi, and he spoke about how he was at a certain place earlier in his career and he had to evolve. The man is 40 years old, and as a pusher thruster is still going strong. It's like Daisho, he's going into that transition. He's not an old man, but he's not a young man anymore either.
Yeah, he's on the cusp. He's like 30, 31. Speaking of Tamawashi, this right here is what's interesting. And this goes into what Tamawashi was saying and sort of the problem you're always going to have in this Oshi Sumo focus is that you're going to have these matches that just something's a little off. He loses to Tamawashi. He loses to Hirada Umi. Those are two from it. So people were talking about Ozeki runs. God bless you. I love you all. It's never going to happen because of these two wins, these losses. This is what's going to keep him back. I don't think he needs it. I think he's just going to be 10-5, 9-6, Sekiwake forever, and I'm going to love him to death.
Yeah, I mean, there was a point where nobody thought he was Sanyaku level. And when he first got to Sanyaku, they were like, Daisho. And now can you picture Sekiwake without him? So he did level up. He did what you're supposed to do, but we always talk about the ceiling.
The ceiling.
This is his ceiling.
Yeah. And we said this for Koto Sakura, and we're going to say this for Daisho too. It's just like, you get to this high rank, it is an honor. It is, you are fighting for it tooth and nail, and the fact that you're here for this long means that you're damn good at it.
Right, particularly because you will age, and as you age, you slow down and you lose a little bit of power, and you have these guys coming up challenging you every single year and taking just a little bit more off of you. It's the cycle of a fighter's life.
Sure is. So that being said,
Not a bad place to be in.
Yeah. Daiso is perpetually like one good one away from actually being Ozeki and making me look stupid. Daiso, I desperately want to look stupid.
Yes.
Please.
Even if he touches Ozeki and he doesn't stay, at least he can always be known as Ozeki.
Known as Ozeki. But as it is, I'm loving to see Daisho, and if he just stays Sekiwaki for another 5 years, that is perfectly fine.
And then when he retires, hopefully 5-7 years later, him and Takakeisho can play video games again. I look forward to that day.
Well done, Daisho. Also well done, the other Sekiwake, Kirishima, 11-4.
Oh, so good.
Fighting like he never stopped being an Ozeki. My goodness. So we always talk about his tactical edge and how he's always fighting well. He almost never won the same way twice. So let's see. I got it right here. So he beats Hiradoumi on the Tachiai, which is in itself a sort of a, you think that's your thing? I'm better at you in it.
Right.
Out crushes him. I was like, damn, that's pretty good. Blast Abi out, catches Abi off, and then just executes him. Absolutely well done. Has Wakamoto Haru up on the ropes in his wheelhouse. Does that sick leg trip attack.
I know. Just wrap that leg.
Wakamoto Haru just like, yes, I've got my back against the ropes. This is my place.
It's like not against Kirishima.
No, it's not. No, it is
not.
not.
What a great matchup that is.
Yep. And you don't like to see it, but you like it when it happens, I suppose. When he did that weird spinning throw against Takeru Fuji with the Mono-E, and he does the face plant and scrapes his face up, and he has that big awkward bandage on his face the rest of the tournament.
Badge of honor.
That is battle damage.
Uh-huh.
Like, if you're the kind of person who's like, I'll lose my face, but I'm gonna get this win.
Not even gonna brace my hands because then I'll be out.
So he just face first into this. I need stitches. Whatever.
I won the match.
That is.
It was so good to see. Dare I say that this might be a better version of Kirishima than we've seen in a while.
Well, in a while, certainly, because like once the it almost tells you like it was the injuries. It was maybe some mental issues from being one win away from being Yokozuna, and then it all crashes down.
Right, it's the same thing we were talking about with Kodozakura.
Yes.
You have the injury itself to overcome, but then you have all the things that keep you awake at night. And if you're spinning your wheels and you're thinking, and you get in a match and you can't calm that down, believe me, that's a thing. It's a 30-second match. You have to be perfect for 30 seconds or you don't win. There's no recovering. It's what was the game plan going in? Did you execute it? And if you couldn't execute it, did you have a plan B that you were able to work? Sumo's a highly concentrated sport where you could be really great and still lose.
Yeah. You could be exceptional and still lose. We'll be talking about that in a little bit when we get down to the Megashira.
Yeah.
We had mentioned this before, but worth bearing again. His fight with Hoshiryu was that was some Senshiraku kind of level of sumo. This is some damn good sumo from both of them. And
just a couple years ago, it was Senshiraku level because if Teruno Fuji wasn't in, those two were fighting on the last day.
Yeah. So this is an extremely good sign for Kirishima. He was 8-7 in March, so he's probably not on a run for Ozeki. If he gets a 14-1, he is, which is...
Well, especially in the climate we're in. For a 14-1, he'd probably have to beat at least...
He'd have to beat one of the Yokozuna.
Right, he'd have to beat at least one of them, and then everybody else around him.
Yeah, so probably not going to happen, but if he gets another 11-4, hell, if he gets another 10-5...
He's one tournament away.
He is on the way. I am very optimistic to see what we get out of Kirishima in July.
I do believe they'll give him whatever they can because he was Ozeki before. Yes. So he'll get a little, maybe it's 32 instead of 33. He's already proven himself.
I have one last thing to talk about for Kirishima. You may notice that there is one specific name that is absent from his fight card, and that is he never fought Onosato.
Oh.
Because they swapped him out for Hakuoho.
Oh. In the hype, I didn't even think about that.
So, made sense in the moment. We get to Hakuoho. They did him dirty.
They did do him dirty.
We're going to get to that. But right here, Onosato is 11-0. So they give him to the contenders, which Kirishima at this point has 3 losses. He's not a contender.
That's
for the race.
so...
So they give him a contender to knock the contender out, and as a result, he fights Daisho and doesn't fight Kirishima. What would it have been?
Especially this level of Kirishima.
You were talking about how Hoshoryu beats Onosato on the inside grappling. Keep an eye out for that in July.
I'm just imagining a totally different scenario right now. If they give him Kirishima.
You know, this is the fight card you got. This is the fight card you won. This is not a coulda, shoulda, woulda. This is a put this thought in the back of your mind
for the next time they fight.
Keep an eye out for this.
They're probably going to fight in July. I can't imagine it happens twice.
Like, I'm not saying that Onosato is going to lose, but this version of Kirishima,
he's going to give him a fight.
This version of Onosato, this is going to be the kind of sumo that they put on highlight reels in 20 years. This is so good. Kirishima, stay healthy, please. Very good. So, this is going to be the only Makakoshi in Sanyaku, Ozeki, or Yokozuna.
So sad. I mean, nothing can be done. The man is older and he's got chronic injuries. Sorry, Takayasu. My heart.
Yeah. So there was an unbelievable amount of pressure and fighting in the very, very top. When we get to Wakamoto Hara, I'm gonna have a real stint about it. But for Takayasu specifically, with his 6-9 at Kamasubi 1 East, it was very clear that he was not at 100%.
Which happens after he has a good basho.
When he has a good tear of it, it's just inevitable that things are going to catch up to him. But he did have some really awesome matches. And we were just talking about how damn good Kirishima is.
He beat Kirishima.
Day 15, Takayasu says, go for broke. I'm going to dig in. I'm going to give you absolutely everything I have. They do an awesome, epic fight for us. And Takayasu is the one that gets it.
Yeah.
So that is... I always like it when you're Makakoshi, but then you win on the last day. It's that sumo spirit. You were not fighting for record. You're fighting for yourself.
Exactly. And Kirishima gets a 12-3. I mean, that's a big deal for what he's trying to do. And Takayasu denies him. Isn't it fun to look at the levels of this? Hoshoryu beats Onosato. Kirishima beats Hoshoryu. Takayasu beats Kirishima.
Yep.
Levels, baby.
It's so good. So he had some real fun fights. He does a pivot throw into Oho and Takeru Fuji. So has that sumo sense to timing and enough defenses to get it done. He does a yakety sax fight with Gonoyama that he runs backwards.
That was very amusing.
Around the ring. I think 2 entire rotations before he finds the angle. Running backwards like that, thinking on your feet, doing angles, stupid difficult.
Yeah, because all it takes is like one appropriately timed push. Like, just imagine if he is running around and then all of a sudden just the right timed push and it's done because you're right on the edge.
Yep. So
very, very silly in some ways, but very good. Like you said, it's actually much more harder than it looks.
Yeah, a couple of these matches that he loses are like the Hiro de Umi match. A good Takayasu will beat Hiro de Umi.
Right.
And not to take anything away from Hiro de Umi, a win is a win. But there are a couple of matches when the Ura loss was definitely the big one. That like when he got up, like it looked like somebody like beat him up.
Yeah,
and
he looked hurt.
Yeah, and he's just like, well, I gotta go to my car and get home, I guess. You just
well,
drag yourself.
The worst part is, it's one thing to get a rare Kimarite used against you. It's another when it's the second time.
Second time in as many
in the same
back to back.
Yeah. That match will be talked about for a long time.
So, the good news is that Takayasu is probably not going to actually fall that far.
Right.
He's not going to be in Sanyaku anymore.
But he'll be within reach.
He'll be 1-2. It's going to be there. This is a wasteland down here. We're about to enter. We're about to enter a graveyard.
Yeah, pretty much.
But in any case, Takayasu did good sumo as best as he could.
I mean, this is better than times past where he's had to pull out after a good tournament.
Good to see him in Sanyaku again. He touched it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's never going to quit. He's never going to quit until it's finally like I can't walk, or somebody makes me quit, or
He has like the most unkillable mental toughness I think I've seen. Just
no one else has the mental toughness he has. I don't care what anybody says. I think it's something like 9 Jung Yusho, maybe it's 11, to have touched the possibility of Yushoing that many times and to get back into the ring and do it again and be hurt all the time and still come out and take these young guys down.
Pure sumo.
You take
beautiful sumo.
You take his sumo spirit, his mental abilities, and you put him in one of the Yokozuna. There's Hakuho.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
Because honestly, Hakuho had both. He had a stamina and a physicality that no one could match, but he also had the mind. So Takayasu, I dare to say, has one part Hakuho in him.
One part Hakuho. The Yokozuna resolve.
Yes.
I'll give it to him. So, one more absolute banger of a Sanyaku. Wakataka Kage, 12-3.
Almost, dare I say, 13-2 if he could have just...
That was this match with Onosato. It was so close. It was
so close.
It was absolutely gorgeous. This might be the best version of Wakataka Kage we have ever seen. Yeah. And this is because the 12-3 is the same record he got when he had his Yusho. And when he got that Yusho, the level of competition was nowhere near this intense.
Right. We talk about this all the time when we say not all records are equal. Not all 8-7s are equal to other 8-7s. Like you said, he won his Yusho on a 12-3. This time around, that wasn't even close to a Yusho performance in terms of record. But if this level of his sumo, pop it into the year that he won, he's better now than he was then.
Better now. He had an answer for everything. He had a way to move, a way to attack, to defend. It's like nobody could do anything to him.
Look at who he lost against. Hoshoryu Onosato.
So Hoshoryu, like we always talk about Hoshoryu's day one weakness. He beats Wakataka Kage on day one. That is absolutely stellar. He contained Wakataka Kage. He out Wakataka Kaged him.
Well, he had a I think he had a plan.
He had a plan going. They both had plans going in. That was an awesome day one match.
Yeah, it was.
He gets nothing on that loss.
That was like a day 15 match a few years ago.
Abi, the cheeky push pull, which Abi beats Wakataka Kage and Hoshoryu with the push pull, and then goes 7-8. Thank you, Abi.
It's amazing.
Abi doing exactly what we want from him. He's a heel.
Right. Abi is the reverse Ura, but they're literally kind of doing the same thing.
Kind of same thing. And then the Onosato fight again. He was so close to winning it. He
just ran out of room.
Oh my goodness!
If he didn't get pushed to the edge like that, now like you said, you give that credit to Onosato. He controlled the distance. Yep. If that was closer to the center of the ring, that's Wakataka Kage's, and it changes the whole direction of this tournament.
And so we have just the murderer's row of people. He beats Kirishima, who was on a tear. Aonishiki was fighting out of his mind, and Wakataka Kage made Aonishiki look like he didn't belong in there.
Yeah, he was really one of the first walls that Aonishiki hit.
Wakataka, he goes low with him. He's just like, I'm just gonna do your sumo against you and do it better because I'm Wakataka Kage. I'm a freaking badass.
He definitely has that confidence thing too in him.
He does. This was so. Now that we're here with Wakataka Kage, we could talk about that Ozeki thing. So for Kirishima, 11-4, he's got an 8-7 something. If Wakataka Kage is nearly this good in July, I think he's the next one.
Yeah, they'll be looking for one anyway. And I mean, this is, like you said, that was a Yusho not too long ago. If he does the same, maybe he does even a little bit better, because I still think he could have done better. I think take the Abi match away or be in the center. He could have been a 14-1 himself. And not dominating, but just very technical.
So close. July is going to be incredibly important for Kirishima and Wakataka Kage because for both of them, like they just get 10 wins and they're in pole position for September. If they get, and if they do another 11 and they do another 12, you're right there.
The tough thing about Wakataka Kage is there does seem to be this little lapse in consistency. He can throw these 12-3s out there, and then wind up with a bad Basho next time out.
This is what's so good about July. July is going to be hype. We get a new arena, and now we've got 2 people who could be getting us a solid Ozeki run who did so well in May.
Right, and we always say it, 2 tournaments.
2 tournaments is the pattern.
Yep.
It's man, he was so good. He was so good.
I really hope he brings that energy into July. I would love to see him. I mean, he was the one that Ozeki was out of his reach. Now all these guys are going up to Yokozuna. Now's the time. Claim the rank.
Let's see. I'm buzzing from how good he fought. Just the offense, the defense, the movement, the precision of his attacks for Wakataka Kage.
I'm buzzing because he's one of the few that I think can challenge Onosato. There are very few on this list.
Oh my goodness.
And he's one, Kirishima's one. Maybe Aonishiki in some time. He needs time.
November Aonishiki's going to just destroy.
Yeah.
Give him 4 months, 6 months. So well done, Wakataka Kage. Okay. So, as we mentioned before, look at all these exceptional. We have a 12-3, 14-1, 11-4, 10-5, 12-3. These losses have to come from somewhere. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, we're going to talk about the poor
top
wretched
of the
souls.
The Maegashira 1 through 5.
Yep. So this is going to be like what I call the elite handicap. Is that
I like that.
These people are just saddled with about 4 to 5 losses. Now, to all these people's credit, they do get one up on the Sanyaku, the Ozeki, and the Yokozuna. Like everybody at least has one.
Right, one match
that they get off of the people. But for everybody else, I'm sorry. So you got here's Onozato, here's Hoshoryu, here's Daisho, here's Kotozakura, here's Kirishima. Sorry, there's your 5 loss bye.
Right.
Now, if you look at it that way, Wakamoto Haru went 7-3.
Right.
He did pretty well for himself.
Yeah.
And his bye was his brother.
That's the downside is he already has a favor for all the handicap he has.
He got his favor, and unfortunately couldn't get there. Now, he does beat Takayasu, but Takayasu just got squeezed out.
Yeah.
Now, I will also say, you may look at Kotozakura as 8-7, but who does he lose to? Wakataka Kage, Kirishima, Onozato, Hoshoryu, Daisho. He's at the 5. So, he went 6-2.
Yeah, good point.
Okay. So, anyway. This is going to be sort of the theme for a lot of these people we're about to talk about, which is why I'm sort of doing this shtick now, to get the bit out of the way. And so a lot of what we'll be talking about with them is what they did to try to salvage it and how close they were to maybe even getting it done anyway. Mm-hmm. So for Wakamoto Haru, again, that 7-3, his defenses were really good. Like he had that toe issue, the balance issues, gone. Mm-hmm. He was fighting really well. And so let's see. There's Takayasu, there's Tamawashi, Gonayama, Oho, Hiradeumi. People who are in his face giving it to him, he reverses it.
That's really when you know he's on.
That he was on.
Because otherwise, he is on the edge. It'd be really easy to just end the match. But when the mind is working and the feet are working, then he was in decent shape.
He was in really good shape. He was fighting his brand of sumo. He was doing well. So here's what's very interesting. Loses to Abi and then loses to Oshoma. If he gets either one of those, he's back in Sanyaku.
And those were the 2 that actually surprised me they lost. So something's a little off.
Also keep in mind, he's going into day 6, 1-5, mm-hmm. and he's been just thrashed and
good point
and handled. So all these guys have the same sort of beat down going on. That they'll get 1 or 2 that they hold on to. Abi is just like, hey, I beat Hoshoryu, I beat Wakataka, I'm doing pretty good, but he couldn't get it done. Actually, for Abi, this is shocking, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So for Wakamoto Haru, he fights really, really well, but it's just really, really well.
Just really hard.
Just a really 7-8 in May.
It's the gauntlet. You're literally going through the gauntlet when you're in this position. Actually, we'll get to it, but look at Oho. It's like this very similar story.
Yeah. Oho, both of these guys, an 8-7. You're back, Sanyaku. Welcome back.
Right.
1 match. That's how close this was. And again, this is them saddled with, well, you're going to be losing a lot.
So you really got to make the matches that you should win count.
Yeah.
And if you have a little slip up, well, there it goes.
There it goes. There is no margin for error for these guys. But for Wakamoto Haru, he was doing his brand of sumo. He was doing well. It's just one loss away.
And he's kind of getting up there in age, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he's the older brother. That's all I know. Let's see.
Let's see how old this guy is.
He is 32.
Oh, wow. He's older.
31, but he'll be 32 this year.
He's older than I thought. He's doing pretty good for himself, considering.
He's doing very well. Also, do keep in mind that he sort of had that awakening.
Yeah. Late in his career.
And then if he's in Sanyaku, he's like, yeah, he belongs there. He was hanging out in there for a while.
Yeah.
So,
Touch Seki Wake, possible Zeki run.
He was looking at it.
He was. But now, unfortunately, there's these little windows, right?
Yes.
And if you don't take your opportunity in the window, there's no greater example than Hoshoryu, right? If he doesn't take his opportunity there, he risks having the kinds of things that have happened to Koto Sakura, what's happening to Wakamoto Haru now, what's happening to Daisho. Daisho had 2 years where if he just got it all together then, he's Ozeki. Now the window is closing
a little bit.
And it's closing on Wakamoto Haru, unfortunately.
But he did fight really well.
Yeah.
The landscape, the way things are, he might hold rank. I don't actually probably won't have to move for Takayasu. We'll get to that. We're not against the Banzuke yet. But yeah, despite the 7 and 8, very good sumo.
Yes. It's as best as he can hope for.
Yeah. So, Oho, another 7 and 8. And then again, here we go. Onosato, Daieso, Wakataka Kage. But he gets Hoshoryu. But he gets Kirishima. But he gets Kodazaka. This 3-0 opening, we're like, oh boy, he's here.
So honestly, it was Onosato that stopped the drive. And whatever happens with Oho, there's definitely some sort of mental factor with this dude, because he has shown us multiple times elite sumo, including, you see it right there. Yep. It starts up 3-0 when he's not supposed to do that. He's supposed to get beat.
Yeah.
And then it just falls apart.
Yeah. So first off, he was 4 and 8, and he rallies back to 7 and 8.
Another story in there.
Another grit. Another I'm sick of this. These critical matches with Hirota Umi, with Gonoyama, with Abi. These are these are all the people in top 5. They're all staring at each other. They're like, I need a win out of all of you.
I got to take one of you. Exciting matches. Oho is like a half second too slow. Just so close to a win, and then something happens and he goes out or he steps out. He is just on the cusp, and he's in all of these matches. Right. It's not like he's getting beat down like some of the guys we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
It's not good enough, man.
This is. Like for Wakamoto Haru, it did feel a little bit more. Here are the matches he won. Here are the matches he lost. But for Oho, so close. It's like if
you just gotta believe, man. Like I said, Kirishima, Wakataka Kage, Hoshoryu, they all believe it. Even if they're losing, they believe they're gonna win. I don't know if Oho always believes in himself.
Yeah. He's got the grit. It's the lapses. And again, you just take any one of these and you flip them.
Right, and you're talking about a different tournament because it's all measured in tiny little inches.
The Oho is the example of how razor close. It is a battle of bodies, of wills, of minds, of just the split second, fraction of the second.
Can you push yourself just a little bit more to stay?
A little more. And this is also, again, how brutal May was.
Yeah, absolutely.
This kind of Oho in a Basho back, 9-6, 10-5. But in this tournament, the same amount of effort, the same sumo talent as a 7 and 8.
Well, he got that chance in January. You know what I mean? And once again, you talk about matter of just a tiny fraction. He wins that tournament, it changes everything.
I'm still hopeful for Oho's future though, because again, you just get that inch.
Right.
It
does go the other way too.
If Oho goes back and he digs deep and he finds that extra inch, he finds that half second, he goes a little deeper, he goes a little harder.
And when he starts to see success piles on success, right? If he starts to see the success, if he takes a win off of Onosato, if he takes a win off of Daisho, all of a sudden the confidence builds and builds, and then you can, as they say, cliche or not, do your style of sumo.
Oh, man, keep an eye. Both of these Megashiro ones, they did well. It doesn't look like it. They did well.
Yeah.
They're not going anywhere.
Yeah, they'll have a tiny demotion at most.
They're going to be at it in July, and they may be even hungrier than ever.
Yeah.
I'm looking. Oh, my
Could you imagine a promotion on a 7 and 8?
I don't think. Yeah, they'll do
I think the Bonsuke is going to be a mess.
Oh God, yes it is. We'll talk about them now. Megashira 2 East, Abi 7 and 8 has thrown the entire thing into chaos because you wanna find your first Kachikoshi outside of Megashira? No.
Oh my goodness.
Oshoma, Megashira 6, the first Kachikoshi.
And you know what also throws it off is the Takayasu 6 and 9.
So he's not staying.
Oh my goodness, this is going to be a mess.
What's also interesting about this, on the last day, Oshoma beats Abi. For the Sanyaku slot.
Wow.
And also, we'll talk about it. This fight was legendary. We're going to get to Oshoma. Oh my God, Oshoma woke up. But for Abi, the same match, like we were talking going in about how every time Abi falls out of Sanyaku, he just bounce pads back up.
And it looked like obviously he lost the first 3 matches, but then he beats Hoshoryu and beats Takeru Fuji, beats Oho, and you think, okay, it's going to be one of those tournaments. And then Kirishima just shuts that door.
Yeah, so a lot of Abi's losses were on timing. A lot on the Tachiai. And so that was particularly these last. He was 7 and 4. Tamawashi, no. Hiraumi, no. Tobizawa, no. Oshoma, no. Something happened in the last few days.
The curse of the pusher thruster of
it. Now some of it is, and this is the same thing we were saying like with Daisho, is that when everything needs to be so precise, if it doesn't line up just so,
you lose the match.
And that's what happened to Abi. It looks like. Now he did do his cheeky push-pull win of Hoshoryu and Wakataka Kage, and you can't take those wins away from him. That's a Kimboshi in his pocket. That's turning what could have been a Kyusho contention out of Wakataka Kage into an still exceptional 12 and 3. So Abi's still fighting his brand of sumo. He's still doing it. I don't know if it was a lapse. I don't know if it was just everybody was just so amped up that he just couldn't get it together.
I feel like you can always point out a lapse, but at the same time, he might have had the same lapse in the last tournament that didn't burn him.
That's true.
So I don't know that he was fighting any different. I think it just didn't work this time.
Just didn't work. Maybe it's just that simple. Maybe it's just
sometimes your sumo doesn't work. Especially if you're a pusher thruster, because there's, like you said, it has to be perfect, or it's also like being a small man in sumo. If you're not perfect, you're done. So, unfortunately, when you have that style, you are prone to these 7 and 8s.
Yep. Well, so weird for Abi to have it, and then it fell out of his fingers.
Mm-hmm. I really thought he had it. I couldn't believe the collapse at the end.
He was 7 and 4.
But the reason I say he's the reverse Ura, he beats these guys that you feel like he shouldn't beat, and he does crazy stuff. But because he's a heel and not a babyface, you hate him for it. You love Ura for doing what Ura does, and you hate Abi for doing what Abi does. I can't hate Abi. Sometimes you love a heel.
No, I love Abi to death.
I love him so much.
I want him to make people mad for the rest of his days.
Yeah, like sometimes you want somebody who's in there trolling.
Oh my God.
He's literally, he might be in my top 5. I have to I have to consider this top 5 very carefully, but Takekeisho's out of it now because he's not current. Takekeisho has his own spot as no one will ever be Takekeisho ever.
Yeah, he's in the Hall of Fame.
So top 5 active, I think he's in there, and I don't care that people hate him. I love him.
I love him because people hate him.
And he's beaten Takekeisho and ruined Yokozuna opportunities, and I still love him.
Yeah, you hated him for what he did, and you love him for it at the same time.
Yeah, I just can't hate the man.
Bless you, Abi. But Abi's not going to be back in Sanyaku, which is shocking.
It is.
It's what it is.
The pattern is over.
So, next up, Goniyama 4 and 11. My notes for Goniyama is close, but no cigar.
That could define his entire career.
So far, it has. So there was a lot of matches that had a similar pattern. Let's see. So Kirishima, Daisho, Takayasu, Tamawashi, Hoshoryu, and Chiyoshoma. He hit him well. He was moving them around. But, and this has always been his problem, something that he was working on in the past, but just didn't work out this tournament. Opponents had better sumo sense. They had ways of dealing with the power, and they just maneuvered him.
This is kind of what happens, and I can't know. I'm not Gonoyama. I'm not even around Gonoyama, but this is what can happen. If there's a plan A, and I'm just going to keep doing plan A, there's a good thing to that. Like, I'm just going to be really good at the one thing I do. But the downside is everybody seems to outsmart him on the ring. So this is what happens if you go in and you're like, this is the thing I'm going to do, and I'm not going to make any adjustments in real time. Like, it's one thing if you're going to practice the Tachi, practice getting people out. It's another thing if you just don't, that it hasn't been working. So when are you going to make the plan of when inevitably I push this guy to the edge and he does a little dance, do I counter it? Do I do the counter dance? I mean, because now you're both at the edge. It's anybody's match to lose.
He was improving on that. That kind of improvement got him to Megashira too.
Right.
He's been sticking to people a little bit better. And two of his 4 wins were, one was against Kotozakura that he just bulldozed Kotozakura until
that was
his knees
big
went
for
out.
him, though.
That was a huge win.
Yeah.
And he gets the better of Oho. Those guys are just smashing. And he's able to stay focused. Like, the Oho one is like, this is what happens when you stay focused, when you stay stuck to somebody.
Do this all 15 days.
And what's also interesting is that he loses to Oho, who's 8-7. That's such a close match, the thinnest of margins. But Gonoyama just had it that day, and he hit him, he stayed inside, he pushed him out. And so, like, he can do it. It's just not enough. And it's that consistency. Maybe he just needs to learn how to lean. Maybe he needs, I don't know
There's
what.
something.
He needs another gear. The super high level, not really understanding it. And this is what happens when you hit this point. Like, this historically.
Yeah, every wrestler hits their ceiling wherever it is, and then they either make adjustments or they flounder. And Gonoyama's in danger of being a consistent flounderer.
He's making the improvements. And again, this is May. You have your 5 lost by. There are people who fought way better that are still got a Makakoshi.
Right, and what is going to happen to him, though, is he's going to get... Well, I don't even know how far he's going to go because everybody's had a bad time of it.
We're gonna, yeah. We'll
Honestly, I can't even make that comment. The point is, he won't be Megashira 2 anymore. Maybe he'll get a couple of easier matches, or maybe they'll all just shift down.
It's gonna be weird. Now, what will be nice is that he will likely be out of range of. Repeat after me.
The top guys.
Kirishima, Daieisho, Hoshoryu, Onosato. I'll give him Makamoto Haro, sure. So,
what's tough about this, not that I want to get too into the Banzuke, but, I mean, who do you put up there? You can't put, Asakuryu up in Megashira 3, or can you?
Or can you?
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Or can you?
Oh, this July is going to be weird.
You want to see the weird take?
Yeah.
So people are talking about how Wakataka Kage with the 12-3 will force a third Sekiwaki slot. Potentially. I don't know much about this. This is scuttlebutt.
Ooh.
So now we have 2 Kamasubu we need to fill in.
Okay. You're gonna put there.
Okay. So we've already got this weird Oshoma pull. So
Oshoma and
so now we have
Onokatsu?
Onokatsu, we have Kim Bozan, we have special prize winning Aonishiki.
Oh my! This is insane.
Stay tuned for whenever the hell we do this guest.
Or we promote a 7 and 8, which I don't think they would do. But
maybe a Hakuoho with an 8 and 7 at Megashira 7. He's mathematically the highest other Kachi. Yeah, right.
Oh, this is not good. This is not good.
It is.
Or maybe it's great.
It is. Look, I just have fun with this. This pure madness. People lose their minds over this.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be like losing sleep.
Yeah, but like we
don't care until we get there.
Just personally, I have to remove myself from this stuff so I can go into our silly live stream as clean as possible. Now, just inevitably, I'm just starting to passively think about this just when you're doing these wrap-ups, but like I'm not looking at other people's notes. I'm not watching the videos, but there's...
It's going to be a 4-hour Guess the Banzuke.
It's gonna be madness.
But the only reason it matters right now is because as we talk about these guys, you want to talk about, well, next tournament.
Yup.
And you can't.
You can't.
Because you have no idea who they're going to be fighting next tournament.
I mean, towards your point, he will be fighting a lot of the people immediately around him.
Because they're all just going to shift down.
Everyone's going to shift down. But he won't have that elite 5-loss handicap.
Which should improve everybody's chances.
Well, if you give him 5 wins,
right,
it's a 9-6.
It's still not. Yeah, I mean,
still, it's something. It's something for Goniyama to hold on to.
Can you just look at him real quick? Has he had double digits?
Yes,
I thought so.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I just can't remember when.
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
8. He'll be down to Mega Share. He'll be down to Mega Share. He'll be Mega Share 7 probably, maybe even higher. Yeah, he can get it done. He can get there. Mega Share 6, 10, and 5. Like it's a similar case for Atami Fuji that it is for Goniyama, that he's definitely good enough to be in the talking, and he has enough talent, and he's working on it, but he hits that wall, and at that point, like you need that extra gear. You need that something needs to evolve. And
when you have all these other guys evolving around you, who's going to evolve quicker?
And again, and then it's at that point, then it's focusing on your training. It's digging deeper, the mental toughness.
Don't worry about the other guy.
Don't worry about the other guys. You're just fighting yourself. That's one of those platitudes that it's when you're on the outside, you're just like, you just work on your inner self, and then you're just like, well, the other guy's punching me in the face. The other guy's throwing me across the ring.
It is funny how many of the cliches are actually real.
Yeah.
They're cliche for a reason.
Yeah. Well, in any case, Goniyama did pretty well for himself, but just the record is
what it is.
It's just he just got
crushed.
It
just didn't work.
Just didn't work. Yeah, he got crushed. It happens. And again, it's no one here got out alive.
No.
No one here. Next up, Tamawashi 6-9. I was holding that tiniest of hope that he would sneak into Sanyaku.
Too hard right now.
And no, my goodness.
It's just
that is a sheer cliff you are scaling, good sir.
Yeah. At 40 years old.
So he does put some interesting wins together. Beats Takayasu for what it's worth. Beats Daisho. Beats Abi. So some pretty impressive wins. And strong power. Again, like where he gets his power from is absolutely baffling to me.
Yeah, I don't think he lost much of a step for himself, but like he's gone against the best.
He gets Wakataka Kage moving backwards. He smashes him, but Wakataka Kage is just in
It's
control.
like, oh, I'm comfortable backwards. It's okay.
Wakataka Kage, he had an answer for everything. He knew what to do in every situation.
He probably knows, like he probably studies these fighters and has a plan for each guy.
Yeah.
That doesn't just organically happen.
He put the pace on Oho too. Like his power is impressive, super impressive.
To be that age and still be able to.
It is too rough up here.
You are never gonna meet somebody who doesn't think Tamawashi is badass.
He is badass. There's not. It's not even a discussion.
The coaches, the wrestler, like you read any interview about Tamawashi, and they're like, he's amazing.
Yeah. So for him to fight this well up here.
Yeah.
It's very impressive. This is his highest rank in 2 years.
And that's the thing, right? We were talking about scores. Tamawashi's 6-9 is not the same as other people's 6-9s.
No.
I mean, to be almost 41 years old and to basically look the same.
Fought younger than ever.
Yeah. It's like give the man a special prize.
Can we get a special prize in a 6-9? Tamawashi
we need a new special prize for the veterans. I don't know.
We need it. Well, Sadanoumi got a special prize for being old. God bless him. I love Sadanoumi. He deserved every inch of that trophy he got. Anyway, well done, Tamawashi. Again, impressive 6-9 up here. Absolutely. Other people, double-digit losses, and
they're way younger than him.
Oh, goodness gracious. All right, Hiro Daumi, 6-9 as well. I'm going to shoot 3 West. Another very impressive performance, but one more time for you. Kirishima, Kota Sakura, Hoshoryu, Ono Sato, Wakataka Kage. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna do? This tournament, they were untouchable.
And here's the thing: this is good experience for them.
Good experience, and He beats Daisho. Again, everybody has that one match. Beating Daisho on speed and timing, very impressive.
And as he fights each one of these gauntlets, he learns a little bit more. It's another cliche. I'm throwing it out there. You learn more in a loss than a win. You go back and you think about what went wrong. And if you put that together with each one of these absolute destroyers up here, then he'll have some things to work on. When this happened with Onosato, maybe I should try this. When this happened with Hoshoryu, maybe I can try this. You start working on all these things, and then the next time you take one more win off of one of these guys.
Yep. Yeah, he's downloading. That's
Yeah.
the best. So when he fought Takayasu, this was a good Takayasu match. This was a Takayasu who was in there. It was a marathon match. They just smashed the hell out of each other, and Hiro to Umi got the better of it.
Yeah.
Again, you hold on to this win. You hold on to the Daisho win where he smashes him. A lot of his other wins was just the power and the reflexes, and he just dismantled people. Now, people are also learning, this is a similar issue to Gonoyama, that they're able to turn the tables on him.
Right.
And for Hiro to Umi, it is here's the stuff you're good at, here's the stuff you work on, go.
Right.
Go.
Just keep working.
And it's an extremely hard fought and well earned 6-9, and you're just like, but it's a 6-9. It's just like, but nothing. This May was absolutely brutal to these people.
If you only focus on the numbers and you just forget everything that happened, you'll never know the full story. For predicting future things.
Yeah. So here, this is case in point that we're making here. Tamawashi 6-9. We're like, damn, not bad. 40 years old, kicking ass. What a badass with that 6-9. You go over to Hiro to Umi, you're like, okay, he's learning, he's figuring it out. You go back to the drawing board, you figure it all out. Takeru Fuji 6-9.
Oh, you suck.
No.
No, I'm just saying that's what will happen for someone like him who's supposed to be better than that.
Yeah. So,
I'm not saying he sucks, but there are definitely people who will.
So, I think this may be the most excited 6-9 I've seen. So for Takeru Fuji, this is his first non-injury Makakoshi. This is the moment that he has been told he's not good enough.
And this will create a fire.
Yeah. So we have seen Takeru Fuji. He went out. He broke his freaking ankle, and on day 14 on his record-breaking Makuchi debut Yusho win, he comes back with a busted ass ankle on day 15
and wins.
This is a guy who will do what he needs to do.
He needed to get pushed around a little bit to get that extra motivation. I feel like he's the type of guy who will go back and train so ridiculously hard.
This is
so that this never happens again.
I am so excited because we are going to see a Takeru Fuji who will have no weaknesses.
Yeah.
Who will be terrifying and strong and will. I'm just, my mind is exploding with the potential.
Now he was right before Onosato, right? Onosato was.
Yes.
So Takeru Fuji was getting all this hype. He breaks a 100-year record. He's amazing. He comes out with a busted ankle and wins on day 15. And now he's in the shadows.
Yeah. Well, this when Takeru Fuji was coming up and Onosato was coming up, everybody's like, "Oh yeah, Onosato's not a big deal. Takeru Fuji broke records." So we're just like, wait.
This is how fickle sumo is. Don't be so quick to pick a guy and say this is eternity, because it just like that.
Ugh.
So Takeru Fuji is sort of a cautionary tale of you can be at the top and then get smacked around.
Yeah. So his fights against Kotozakura, Kirishima, and Hoshiryu are all interesting because Kotozakura and Kirishima both were mono-ease. It went down to the wire, and he was a hair from losing. Like we'd said with Kirishima, Kirishima was just like, I'm just gonna bust my face in, and I'm gonna win.
That easily could have went the other way.
Could have went the other way. I think. Well, I mean, in both cases, the other person were able to execute on their brand of sumo. He pulls Kotozakura into that lean, and Kotozakura just has the sixth sense to be able to push into it in just a way that he goes down a half second. And then we find out against Hoshoryu that his Henko was so good that he beat the Gyoji with it.
That was one of the moments that I just laughed.
But Hoshoryu was so good that he was able to keep fighting. I just want to bring that because that was a funny moment.
I know the whole thing. It's like, first of all, Takeru Fuji, I understand you bringing the Hanka in because people expect you to blast. You don't do it against Hoshiryu. He is the anti-Hanka force.
Yeah. It was such
a force that knocks the Gyoji down.
It knocks the Gyoji over with the force.
It was like anti-force.
It was beautiful. But anyway, yes, Takeru Fuji he will now become a menace because he now has purchase to dig deep and to rebuild.
Right. He's in the Isegahama Bea where this is elite. And now Teruno Fuji's the coach. And Teruno Fuji doesn't look happy even in retirement. He looks like he is going to just beat you up. So when Takeru Fuji goes back to Teruno Fuji, you think they're going to be like, it's okay. No.
No. Well,
no. Would you want to go back to Teruno Fuji after 6-9 when all these other guys are leapfrogging you?
Oh, I think it was last tournament. Every time Takeru Fuji lost, the abatement camera hard cuts to Teruno Fuji in the background just staring death at him.
We really need a meme of that because it's astounding. You know he's like got a little bit of a tingle up his spine like, oh no, I gotta walk past coach.
Yeah, there was the one time he did walk past and Takeru Fuji nods towards Teruno Fuji. Teruno Fuji stares right ahead, doesn't even acknowledge
you don't
him.
exist.
Oh man,
we thought Ono Sato had a hard with Nishin Oseki. Nobody has it harder than the Isegahama guys now.
They're all gonna. But anyway, Takeru Fuji again in this climate, not a bad 6-9. And now that he's tasted that loss, I am just boundless excitement. It also means that I could be a Takeru Fuji fan, and it's legitimate. I'm not just on a hype train.
Yeah, but now you're being hippie sumo fan,
which is my brand.
John, never lose your brand of sumo fandom.
What? He's losing? I'm a fan of him now.
Yeah, so you're hippie sumo fan, and I'm bleeding heart fan. The more you tell a guy that he can't do it, I'm like, he's my favorite. Yeah. What do you mean he can't do it? He can do it.
Oh, goodness.
I love it.
Speaking of, he lost it, but we still love him. Ichi Yamamoto, 5-10. He's fun.
He broke the streak of 7-8 and 8 and 7.
It's so upsetting.
It's astounding how many were back to back. You know, though, Ichi Yamamoto had been improving tournament after tournament after tournament. He finally just, like you said, look at the people you got to fight up here.
There's no shame in this.
No,
for him. Because he's an incremental improver.
He is.
So he's not going to have a breakthrough. What he does is he just gets a little better and better. Something I noticed out of him I think it's something he's been doing before. He's been doing these Ironman wins, these marathon wins. He outlasted Chiyoshima and Shiranaumi. He didn't just beat them.
Right.
Chiyoshima, well, his gas tank I think is going down. He has the inverse problem. But if you go into deep waters with Chiyoshima, particularly on the belt.
Right. Typically, you would lose if you don't have a certain ability.
So he's starting to dig deep, and like that's one of those things. Like if you can hang in there,
yeah.
Particularly for Ichi Yamamoto, who's typically pretty good at least staying in there.
Yeah, he's worked on his footwork a lot. He used to just be flying in the air, and he was down for his own doing. Now he's really concentrated on the footwork. He's moving so much better than he was. But like you said, incrementally. You still see the foot come up a little bit.
Yep.
He's also gone for the belt a little bit in cases where he feels like, okay, this is not going so well.
He's doing more belts. Some of the belts are desperation. Some of the belts are a little suicide. But it's like the fact that he's doing that, though, again, it's that he's figuring things out. He's trying things.
Yeah.
He's not just content with the push and the pull.
Yeah. Yeah.
But again, so just it happens.
There's not much you can say. Like, he's doing his thing. He's trying his hardest, and he will go back and he'll improve a little bit more.
A little bit more.
We don't know where he's going to wind up in the Banzuke, but
no one does.
I'm not worried about him. You know, some guys, this is the level they're at, and you do what you can.
Yeah, he'll go down, and then he'll 8-7 his way back up.
Exactly.
Or maybe
hold at a 7-8.
Maybe now that the trend is broken, maybe he'll get a 9-6.
You know?
Yeah,
the reverse.
I'm not gonna say 10-5. I'll say 9-6.
Okay.
I'll 9-6.
I think that's fair.
I'm looking forward to it, Ichi Yamamoto. So Ura, darling Ura, 5-10.
The greatest man in sumo. He gets his own category too. He's in his own Hall of Fame.
He is. There is nobody like Ura. There will be nobody like Ura. And nobody was having his tricks. Nobody wanted to deal with him.
And this happens sometimes because, to be fair, as much as Ura pulls off these crazy moves, he does have this thing that he does. He's coming in the Tachi-ai low, and they're punishing him for it because they know it. They either sort of move out of the way or they push him down because he's so low. Or some people counter it, and either they get just as low or they pull on the arms. So there's a lot of... For all the technical things like what Hoshoryu does, like to win a match, there's a lot of ways to defeat Ura technically, if you know kind of what he's going to do, which makes it amazing when he does pull off some rare Kimarite.
Yes, so he does. We had said this before. Sutezori, underarm forward body drop.
The best part of that match for me is I could see the setup.
He was setting it up.
He got the head into the armpit, and I'm like, oh, yeah. He's going to do it.
What made it work specifically is that he was pressuring Takayasu out, and so basically he had himself at like a weird sideways head into armpit angle, and Takayasu couldn't move because he was at the edge and just holding as best he could, and then he leans back into it. It was pretty good. Most
people don't have the flexibility to pull off a move like that. It's kind of like a fly trapped in a spider's web. What are you gonna do? You're stuck.
Yeah. So unfortunately for him, also, he has Hoshoryu and Onosato that they feed him. Like Megashira 5 or so is about when maybe you do, maybe you don't. Like if you look over here to Chiyoshima,
yeah,
there's no either of them.
They did that because the fans love it.
Exactly. So he kind of got a little hosed.
Being a fan favorite has its downsides.
Yeah, Chiyoshima didn't fight any of those people. Actually, hang on. Did you fight?
He had a totally different lineup than
did?
Ura.
Look at that.
Look at that.
The only person in Sanyaku that he fought was Takayasu.
Did he not fight Haku Oho?
He did fight Haku Oho, but Haku Oho is lower down.
Yeah.
Like, no Daisho, no Wakataka Kage, not even Wakamoto Haru.
So now we know the reason why Ura...
So then Ura, look at that, freaking...
Once he got out of the craziness, he started getting wins.
They gave him both Yokozuna.
Fans want it.
Because they wanted the hype match.
And
Ura, a victim of his own success.
He is making his own path in sumo.
Kinda.
Nobody else has the path that Ura has. You see it right here in front of you when you see Chiyoshima's lineup compared to his.
Well, Ura's still putting on a good show. And 5 wins, he gets it back.
Yeah, honestly, nobody cares what his record is. They just want to see him. And because everybody else did so poorly, he's not going to lose that much. So, it's a win.
Sort of a win.
Ura wins.
Ura wins.
Even in a loss, Ura wins.
We declare it.
Yes.
So, well done, Ura, on a 5 and 10. That's what we're
I think he did a couple of somersaults.
There was at least a couple, yeah.
But honestly, it was underwhelming, like, in the sense that we want more. We want more crazy moves, and he couldn't even...
His crazy was shut down this tournament.
Crazy was shut down. Perfectly stated, John.
Chiyoshima, we just mentioned him, 4-11, making sure 5 West. He was also somebody who was shut down. Both of these guys, they have the same story that they have a brand of sumo, and they were not allowed to do it.
They were like, permission denied.
So, and I mentioned this with Ichi Yamamoto. Also, when he fought Kimbozan, so Chiyoshima would be able to dig deep, or at least he would always be attacking, even in those longer matches. And he loses those 2 matches that I feel like earlier he could have gotten off against Ichi Yamamoto and Kimbozan. That he couldn't get it together.
Well, you're really starting to see his age now. There was the hype of, when he fought against Hoshoryu and everything, when he got that high up. But that wasn't going to last. He is at the end of his career. So no matter how good he is, and even though we get to see these resurgences, now of course I've been proven wrong with Sananomi and Nishikigi multiple times, but there does come a point where it's too much.
I think that there's some of that we're seeing, and again, as we were saying before, all these people who are getting thrashed by the very top, they're like, we need to get a win from somebody.
Yeah.
So
it's Chiyoshima they're going to bully.
You're look at Chiyoshima, it's like, I'm going to fight you like you're an Ozeki. Because if I lose against you, I'm Makakoshi.
Yeah.
It was such a brutal environment.
And he couldn't hang.
Yep.
Which makes sense. It all makes sense. You don't look at this and say, well, gee, I had higher expectations. You say, the dream.
Yeah. So I will say, this win against Onokatsu, himself doing really, really, really well, is proof to me that he still got it.
Right.
They just wouldn't let him.
He just doesn't, and also he doesn't have it for 15 days.
Just doesn't have it for 15 days. So
you can come out and show that skill and effort that you have for one day, but to do it again the next day, maybe not.
So I'm not worried. And also, like, when we go into July, we'll keep an eye on Chiyoshima. We're just like, you knocked down a peg before, but maybe he'll bounce back. I'm optimistic. I think he was trying in those matches too. It's not like it was a fade.
Right.
It was a door shut in his face.
Right. Over and over again.
About 11 times.
Well, we don't know where he's dropping once again. That's the theme. But the lower he goes, he will be better off. He's not Maegashira 5 level in this environment.
Not in this blender.
No.
It's a blender full of blenders. It's absolutely terrifying.
Blender on blender.
Going forward from here, it will be more conventional. Slightly.
Exactly.
We're going to talk about Oshoma.
It's a little bit of an enigma to me.
10-5. This is about as close to a breakout as you can get.
And he's done it lower down before, and then he sort of went away.
He has been working. So that first time he came up, he had his interesting lateral backward redirect sumo, which he still has and is doing expertly. But then he got up to like Megashira 4, and then he just ran out of town for the 4 and 11. And it was him and it was Churnaumi that they were both on the same rank. They got the same demotion. They both sort of had the same homework. Oshoma has been working on his homework, and he has been doing a diverse amount of stuff. So Shodai and Onokatsu, really huge people, by the way. He's able to do his pull them, push them to the side, redirect, shove them out. And, an awake Shodai, that's not easy to do that too.
Right.
Onokatsu, defensive bastion. So those are impressive that he's able to beat them on his brand of sumo. And he's starting to do push attacks in addition to his belt work. So Kinbozan in particular was an impressive push attack because Kinbozan was...
That's his bread and butter.
Also, Kinbozan was destroying people.
they awoke the beast.
Kinbozan awoke this tournament.
Yeah.
So that was very impressive to see that. They do give him Wakataka Kage and Kirishima at the very end.
To prove that he's not there yet.
So these two losses is you're losing to the Sanyaku, you're losing to the very best. Maybe a little bit ominous for your future when you get promoted.
Right, and because he's going to shoot up.
But then we have these wins against Wakamoto Haru and Abi, former Sanyaku, who, as we just said, were still fighting extremely well. Mm-hmm. And both of these guys were 1 loss, 1 win. So both Wakamoto Haru and Abi wanted these wins.
Yes. They needed them.
They needed them to get back to Sanyaku where they belong.
And Oshoma
shut them both down.
Yeah.
And as a result of doing that, welcome to your new Kamasubi.
That's nuts.
Absolutely bonkers.
I mean, the Sanyaku curse is real.
Dude, it is going to hit him like a ton of bricks. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But you want to talk about earning it, deserving it?
Yes.
Putting in the work?
Yes.
Oshoma put the work in.
You have earned your July beatdown.
He has earned that beatdown. He has punched his ticket. And the evolution of his sumo has been fascinating.
Right, like another incremental grower, I would say.
Yeah. And also this is somebody like he goes up and they tell him your brand of sumo doesn't work. So he evolves it.
Right.
He evolves it. It's that kind of a thing that you're like, this is how you get the good sumos. These are the good rikishi.
Right. Once again, iron sharpens iron. It's so true. It's what it has to be.
Yeah. So, 2 and 13s in July notwithstanding, keep an eye on Oshoma. He's going places.
In September.
Probably.
I hate to say that, but I think he's going to get destroyed in July.
He's going to have his 5-6 loss handicap probably.
Right,
but
and he's not even ready. But he's more ready than everybody else. So
he is like, it's not even like a weird 8-7.
No.
Like, again, Nishikigi back in the day when he was like, he would it was similar situation. Like, he was making sure a fight with an 8-7 are like, welcome in. Not saying Nishikigi didn't deserve it, but that was a right place at the right time kind of a moment.
Right.
Maybe some of that here for Oshoma, but with that 10-5, like, that's contesting for it at least.
Right. So
that was a show me someone who did better.
And that's actually the fact. You look at it and you're like, well, there wasn't.
There wasn't. Welcome aboard. So, looking forward to Oshoma. Tobizaru, 7-8. They gave him Wakataka Kage on the last day. I'm throwing a fit.
I know.
Undeserved.
Why did they pick Tobizaru on the last day?
What did they do? Why?
It doesn't make any sense.
Logistically, they're looking at who can we give to Wakataka Kage that would be the most hype, and they say, oh, Tobizaru 7-7. They love those.
They do.
They love those hype 7-7.
That was kind of brutal.
Dude, guys, you're doing the man dirty.
And he knew that too. He was like, well, maybe that's his punishment for past misdeeds.
I don't know. They did him wrong. I am sore about this.
They are punking Tobizaru for life.
They punked him. Why'd you do that? And what the hilarious thing is, he's gonna hold his rank. He's not even gonna get promoted.
I know.
Because the Banjige committee, they love Tobizaru.
Yeah.
They're like, oh no, just a gentle demotion. He's gonna hold rank at 7-8 where he is.
I was thinking the same thing.
I was like, it's like, if he's not gonna just kill him.
Because they're probably gonna move Haku Oho to Maegashira 6, maybe. I don't know. Why am I guessing this? Because it's impossible.
It's impossible. Well, let's guess it in a few weeks when we get back to it. But, so, okay, I gotta get past my annoyance here. We have sumo analysis to do. Hang on. So, points for endurance. Shishi gets that arm clamp on him.
He almost ripped that arm off.
It looked like he was going to tear that thing right out of his body. And Tobizaru pulls his arm out of it.
That was some brutal stuff right there.
Like, I saw that, and I'm just like, whoo!
I got like a shiver down my spine. I'm like,
pain tolerance.
Oh!
I mean, when you're in the moment of fighting, of course. Adrenaline. Yeah. But, like afterwards, like, he's doing, like that shoulder roll with it. I'm sort of just like, yeah, dude, that sucks.
And he's looking at Shishi like, dude.
Yeah, Shishi's taller. He's got that real massive strength. So not is he yanking it over, he's yanking it up. So it's harder leverage to even get that thing out. He gets it out.
Mark my words, Shishi's gonna hurt somebody. Although now he's going to Juriel probably. So.
No.
Oh great. Okay. Forget it. I'm not saying anymore. But yeah, Shishi Tobizaru match was brutal for Tobizaru, and he pulled it off.
But he pulls it off. And we were talking how good Oshoma is. Tobizaru beats Oshoma on timing. Oshoma timing is his brand. I mean, so it's Tobizaru's brand as well. But
right. Tobizaru has this sort of interesting style where, yes, it's mostly grab at you and pull you, but he does a lot of movement as well. But the things that he's good at, he usually executes. It's when, he's prone to the blast out, and nothing's going to happen in that situation. But
yes. So also something is there's now a mixture of push parry and belt. Mm-hmm. That's becoming a Toby's. That's like part of his kit now.
Who was he fighting that he grabbed the belt and it was so awkward, but it worked because he was so strong. I can't remember which fight that was.
Might have been Chiyoshoma?
No, I think it was Meisei. Not Meisei because he lost that one. There was one match where he grabbed the belt because he had no other choice, and he pushed the guy out. But it was like, wow, you are not a belt guy.
He's
working on it.
He's working on it also, like, I guess towards this point, like he figures out when if I go inside on the belt, I'll have the guy on the disadvantage. Mm-hmm. So he's always hunting for that, even if the belt isn't his plan A. He's like, if I know I can use the belt to win, I will use the belt. And
you need to in this climate where people can do anything.
Well, his biggest problem, and so he did have the hilarious one and done push out from Kimbozan when he goes for the leg pick. Kimbo, 1 point of contact where he just smashes into him, and then Tobizaru was launched.
That match, I literally just laughed out loud. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
It was hilarious.
And it's like, there goes the flying monkey.
Off he goes. But a lot of his losses were people getting inside on him on the belt and containing him. Hakuoho, Onokatsu, him and Ura just had a legendary fight.
Like they always do.
Meisei. we have a lot of good things to say about Meisei. So as much as he's getting shoved out into the stands, people are like, no, you just clamp on.
Don't let him pull on you.
Don't let him wriggle out.
Yeah.
Shishi tried that, but it failed. And Shishi lost. But again, Meisei, Hakuoho, Onokatsu, they held on. He couldn't get out.
They got the playbook. Yeah.
So we have a lot of talent coming in as well. Because also worth noting is that some of these people are lower. Hakuoho's lower, Onokatsu's lower, Kim Bozan's lower. These three guys are going places.
Right.
And so Tobizero, who used to be a top 5 mainstay, is now struggling on people higher than him and lower than him.
Yeah, he's getting left behind, unfortunately.
And then they gave him Akataka Kage on the last day for no good reason. I'm still mad.
Like I said, they're punking him.
They're punking him
on purpose.
Don't punk him. Hey, he's a 7-7. He's having enough trouble as. Oh my! I gotta let it go.
But then they'll give him the favorable Banzuke position. Just hold. You know it. With him, he gets back as much as they give him.
I guess. All right, we're gonna move on. We're gonna talk about this. So we have a 7 and 8. That's weird. Here's an 8 and 7. That's weird from Hakuoho. You're like 8 and 7. It's like barely hold by.
But that's not the story.
He did some really good sumo, and then they fed him Daisho, Hoshoryu, Kirishima,
Onosato.
He's Mega Shira 7, you punks.
And the thing is he really did give Hoshoryu, he gave him a match.
If Hoshoryu wasn't locked in Yokozuna Sumo,
he loses that match. Which, by the way, is a good showing for Hoshoryu. Yeah. But the technical Kimarite for that was unintentional collapse. So they basically said that Hakuoho beat himself.
Yeah. So, Ozeki Hoshoryu would have lost to that.
Yeah.
Yokozuna Hoshoryu beats Hakuoho by the thinnest of margins. He gave hell.
He did.
He fought really well.
Even Onosato, I feel like he gave it his all. But like you said, he's Maegashira 7, so you do well enough to get punished. And that's the story for Hakuoho.
So big matches are, and we were just talking about, Onokatsu 10 and 5. He beats him. Oshoma 10 and 5. He beats him. Where is it? I think this might have been a match for Shoreiwo Cup. So, and also, Hakuoho he's an interesting, and that he's a pressure fighter.
Mm-hmm.
He gets on the belt, and then he forces you to make an error,
and then he wins.
Or if you try to hold on, he improves position, and then he just gets you out anyway.
Right. He's feeling your momentum when he's holding the belt, and he's reacting according to what you do, which is very difficult. It's got its pros and its cons.
Yes.
Obviously, you see it. You get how many straight wins? 7 straight wins.
Yeah, no, this is why. 'Cause he was 8 and 1 here, and they're like, we got to get this punk out of here. So then they give him Murderer's Row for 4 days,
and they did what they needed to do to him.
This fight with Aonishiki, we are going to have the treat, the privilege of seeing these two guys fight for a decade.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be just as good every single time.
Yeah.
Look forward to this. This is not a loss. This is a legacy.
Yeah.
In the making.
Yeah. Unless Aonishiki just way surpasses him.
Well, Hakuoho is going in the same direction, not
That's
as fast.
true.
He doesn't have a rocket boost taped to his butt like Aonishiki does, but
in this, with all these guys, he's going to get shot up pretty high.
Last day, Hakuoho misses the Mata, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because what was fun, I don't remember who was doing the commentary that day. If it was it Hito? And he was just like, what's going on with Hakuoho? Yeah. And I don't know.
My guess is Hakuoho thought it was Amada, doesn't engage,
and then
it was Amada. It was good to go. Because him and Toki Hayate, that would have been a good match. Because Toki Hayate was, I believe, fighting for his Kachikoshi.
Yes.
And Toki Hayate having a pretty good time of it on the belt.
What a shame.
So this kind of sucks for both of them.
Yeah.
But he got his 8 at least, and then this happened. So 8 and 7, but he's there. He's fighting good.
Are you worried about the injuries?
Yes and no.
Because maybe you're injury prone, but as long as it's not a serious injury and you can fight through it, you'll be okay.
You get 2 months to heal up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's sort of take care of it, put some ice on it.
Yeah, if it was good enough for you to stay all 15 days, then
Also, it's just like it was his shoulder that had the surgery before, and it was the bicep that was hurt this time.
right, which is all connected to his style of sumo.
Yeah.
If you're sitting there like adjusting as people are wiggling around, it's gonna take some wear and tear on the arms.
Not too worried, and yeah, he'll probably be top 5.
Yeah.
So exciting.
Let that man rest.
Let him rest.
I do love Haku Oho. I've loved him from the moment he came up to the top division, so I'm rooting for him. Stay healthy, man.
Stay healthy.
Injuries are the bane of our existence.
So, next up, Chura Naomi 4-11, a bit rough. He had trouble building offense, which normally, that's his thing, is that he's just hitting you, and he won't go away, and he stands and delivers, and he will get you out because he's relentless. He did... So his fight with Ichi Yamamoto, actually, for me, was sort of encapsulated all of this. They had an epic fight. It was back and forth, smashing, glorious violence, the way that we love it. But he couldn't make it stick. Ichi Yamamoto was able to stay in there for long enough.
It was like two magnets, repelling each other.
And eventually, Ichi Yamamoto found the way to get the reversal and get the win. And matches in the past, Chura Naomi would have been able to build and just pressure Ichi Yamamoto out in the same kind of a match. And so, I don't know if he's injured. I don't know if he just had a bad time of it. If it was one of those things that just, when you're doing push shomo, sometimes you're pushed. It's like sort of like Abi. It's just like...
it didn't work.
Didn't work. So for him, it's also weird because he's really streaky like this.
He is streaky.
And that he had this surge up and everybody loved him. I loved him. Like, this guy doesn't give a damn who you are. He's going to smash you. I was like, yes. And then he fell down. We're like, oh no, is this the end? And then he builds back up.
Yeah, I mean, that might just be what it is that he's a streaky fighter and he'll come in July and you'll forget all about May.
Maybe.
Possible. Once again, with the 2 tournament thing, we have to look and see. I don't think he's injured. I mean, everybody's injured, but I don't think he's seriously injured.
Yeah, because like
but I don't know.
4-11, 11-4. He's back, baby.
Right, and a fighting spirit prize.
Yeah, 4-11 is like, wait, are you back? Are you not back?
Well, that's interesting though. 11-4, 4-11.
Yeah.
There's the 10-5.
Yeah, 10. He's like, oh yeah,
10-5 before that too.
4-11. Oh no, he's going away. Oh no, he's back. Oh no, he's going away.
Maybe he is just streaky.
It could be just that he's streaky. It could be just that.
Some tournaments it works, and sometimes he's older.
Yeah, he is older. He's in his 30s.
Right. So you're seeing a guy who has a late career emergence. I was gonna say resurgence, but no, emergence. And maybe that's what this is.
I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
It's weird, but at least he's in there. He's in there. He's smashing. It just didn't work.
Yeah.
I don't know. Chura Naomi, come back to your win ways. So. Ono Katsu. I'm on this hype train. Guys, you need to get on this hype train. Ono Katsu is going to be...
I think there's a few.
There's a few people. This guy is going to be the real deal. So, career highest rank. We came into this and we were like, Ono Katsu, you're going to need every last bit of skill just to survive. Just to survive. To be fair, he was 3-4. And
right.
he just turns
it. Was looking a little rough. You blink. You blink and now look at what he's done.
So... He's got this like calm Koto Zakura-esque, I got my sumo, you can't deal with me, and super good on the belt. And what I caught, which was specifically interesting, is he beats Chura Naomi and Toki Hayate in push sumo. So whenever you see somebody who's a belt specialist who does pushing, or you see somebody who's an OG specialist that goes for the belt, you're like, diversity.
Mm-hmm.
Diversity of moves means that he's figuring out more ways to win and more opportunities.
So you mix sort of the skill sets that are already there. He's got good size, and then as he just builds and builds and builds, he'll have new ways to beat
people, and improving his existing skill set.
Right.
He beats Endo on the belt, Nishikigi, Roga, Meisei.
I felt like the Roga and the Meisei fights were really important.
Yes.
Because Roga in particular has a lot to prove.
Yes.
He's really hungry this time. Meisei fighting way better than we've seen in a long time, and Onokatsu just sort of handles it.
Exactly. This is the kind of growth you want to see out of somebody who's going to just turn into a sensation. So a lot of his losses were on like super fast, on reflexes, on people outmaneuvering him. I'm a little concerned about that because once you get a little bit high up, then you're dealing
That's
with...
everybody.
That is Wakataka Kage's brand of sumo. That's Hoshoryu's brand of sumo.
Right.
That's Daisho.
I have that same thought of like, he's doing great, but there's things that are not going to translate when he gets higher up.
You've got a storm coming, buddy.
Like, it's great that you're 10-5, but now you're going to go up there.
Yeah.
And you're really going to be challenged.
He is there is a reality where he becomes Sanyaku.
Wow.
It's
right.
Yeah, because Oshoma's in. And if they do that thing that they make Wakataka Kage a third Sekiwake, you're going to need somebody else.
Can you imagine that? Oshoma and Onokatsu?
Well, it's Oshoma, pretty much guaranteed, mathematically.
Yeah.
And now we're looking at Hakuoho with his 8 and 7. Do they beg forgiveness for the record by giving him Sanyaku on an 8 and 7 for Megashira 7? Do you give it to Onokatsu on a Megashira 8? Do you give it to Aonishiki on the Megashira 9 in a special prize?
I would be giving it to him personally, but I don't know what they're going to do.
Funky. But what that does mean is that Onokatsu is going to be in the thick of it in July.
He's going to be Maegashira 1 through...
He's going to be in the top 5.
Yeah.
Easily in the top. Math, like, if this is just math, he's Megashira 3.
Right.
Then you add everything else going on.
He probably is going to be Maegashira 3, I think.
2, 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's as simple as it is. But anyway.
Welcome to Wakataka Kage, Kirishima.
Welcome to the murder fest.
Oh my goodness.
But very well done.
Yes.
I'm very impressed. Extremely optimistic for Onokatsu's future. And now we go to Kimbozan, who's also 10 and 5, an absolute terror.
So good to see because this man is full of passion.
Oh my God, yes.
So much passion it comes through the screen, and sometimes it works against him. So I was glad to see him right the ship.
Yeah. So in January, he had that lost the Yusho playoff kind of a performance. And we're like, oh, he's back, baby. And then in March, he goes a little too high. He gets knocked all the way down. And then in our minds, we were saying in the preview show, okay, is it more of a January or is it more of a March? And this is our answer.
Yeah,
he's back, baby.
He got so... You could see the frustration in March. He was just so frustrated he couldn't fight. He could fight, but it wasn't working. It's good to see him channel that super aggressive energy and get back to the January version.
The January version. So he actually gets Chiyoshima on the belt, which was interesting. And
well, he does have some belt skills.
Some belt skills. When he was fighting Atami Fuji, movement was a big factor in that. And that was usually something that you would get Kimbozan caught off on. So there are these matches that you're like, okay, you're improving on that weakness of yours. Mm-hmm. And then he one and done's Tobizaru with a complete blast out. And you're just like, you're still good at that. His hits were blistering.
Yeah.
Like you felt like a shockwave through your monitor, your TV screen.
I felt a little bit of like a Aoyama kind of presence.
Just crushing. Oh,
it's like,
goodness.
Look at his face. He's coming after me. Whoa.
So he's got double digits. Similar to Onokatsu, these guys are getting launched up.
Yeah. I don't know if he's ready either.
I don't know.
But at least he had the experience in January of fighting the top guys. This will not be the first time.
This will not be the first time. This is well earned. And if he's got that kind of just blast off Oshi off the Tachiai, he's gonna embarrass somebody.
Right. He'll get a couple of good wins.
He'll get some good wins. Man, this is just the hits keep on coming with this part of the Banzai Cab.
This is the exciting part.
Yeah, I was like, oh, there's Onokatsu. I'm excited to talk about him. There's Kimboza. I'm excited to talk about him. It's Aonishiki.
Okay, who isn't on the Aonishiki train?
Goodness, making sure 9 East, 11 and 4. So normally I'm a hipster. I don't get on the hype train. I don't care. I will hand in my hipster cred for Aonishiki because this guy is gonna get it.
Oh, I can't wait. Like, when he first debuted in the top division, I had heard so much about him. Everyone was praising him. I ignore all of that until I see someone in the top division. And he really struggled in those first couple of days. And I thought, He's getting slammed by the top division, and then he makes these adjustments, and then he gets a special double-digit special prize. And he said before, I'm going to get double digits the special prize. So he's got that confidence we always talk about, and he's got the skill. The only thing working against him is he's new.
He's new. That is it, and that's not going to last.
His losses are from being new, with the exception of Kim Bozan. The rest is like he got outmaneuvered by guys who've wrestled way longer than him.
By the way, Wakataka Kage, Koto Zakura, Daisho, they had to get him all the way to the top.
Yeah.
And just absolutely, and just the encyclopedic knowledge of where he is and how he fights. Let's see, what did he do here? He gets Onokatsu, Mr. Power Defense. He gets him up to the edge. Onokatsu's like, you're not moving me. He's stoic. Aonishiki pivots to a leg pick to throw Onokatsu's balance off, then goes back to the belt and drives him out. That
Onokatsu had to be like, what?
Onokatsu was just outmaneuvered.
Right.
Because the leg was being picked, so he had to pull it away. That pulls his base out, and Aonishiki then goes back to the drive. Like people, they go for the leg pick, and then Onokatsu just maneuvers. He's like, oh, I got advantage again. He's like, nope, I'm going to go back to attacking you that other way.
Yeah, he's the mind for the sport.
And it's also the when he fights Meisei. Where does he fight Meisei?
Day 4.
Meisei gets the better of him. He has him spun out. In the spin out, Aonishiki does a parry of Meisei while spinning out to spin Meisei back out, then gets a instinct grab belt and runs him out from behind. Like it was difficult to follow watching.
Yeah.
And he does this all because there's no this is the game plan. The game plan is that Meisei is going to spin me out. No. This is all instinct. This is all sumo sense, wrestling sense.
He's got that wrestling background that you spoke about earlier. He just gets it. That's the best way to put it.
Yes.
He's in great shape, and he gets it.
He gets it. He also does a Uchimuso, an inner thigh propping twist down. So he gets Midori Fuji. They're held in a stalemate. And this is another thing. This is sort of a larger thing that's going to happen when we get into the lower part of the Banzuke. Whoever's on the offensive, whoever's aggressive, will win. Mm-hmm. At least in this tournament. Sometimes it doesn't always work out that way, but a lot of these like even battles, whoever's on the attack finds the way to win. So him and Midori Fuji are wrapped up, and they're stuck. And so then I'm just gonna bop your thigh.
Yeah.
He unsticks it, and then Midori Fuji goes down. What else did he do? I could just read out everything he did for 15 days. And
I know you could do a whole hour show and just our
Here's
Nishiki.
the last thing. He beats Tobizaro at his own game.
I was
Stays
so
low.
impressed.
The push parry sumo gets Tobizaro moving back and out.
Yeah.
I saw that. I had to sit back. I'm like, oh my god.
And you got to take a deep breath after watching our Nishiki match.
Like,
there's so much here.
Tobizaro spent years refining this, and you just dismantled it in front of him.
Like I said, when I saw him in this debut make the adjustments after most guys would have it would have gotten in their head. Another guy who believes in himself and he has the skills to back it up. The future for him is so incredibly bright. I can't get over it.
Oh my goodness.
I do not get on hype trains either. I don't.
Oh my goodness.
But there's just something so special about him that how can you not see it? That's all I can say.
July. Where's July?
I know. We were like, oh, there'll be plenty of content. No, there's not. Get to July.
There is still going to be so much to talk about with the
there will be, but just think about the matches you just want to see.
Some of these prospects coming up. Oh,
I want to see every Awa Nishiki fight ever.
Ever.
He is so impressive. I have no words.
Got it. Well done, Awa Nishiki. So, we talk about streaky.
I want to say something, though. I called this. When he won against Chiyoshima, I said, he's going to wind up with a 6-9. I called this on the live stream. I could literally see the light switch go on in that match, and I'm like, okay, whatever was going on in the first half, it's over. He's on now. He's going to win out.
So I have a real analysis, but there's two important things that are fake that I'll point out.
Okay.
Point one, he switches belts.
I didn't even
He
notice.
went from red belt to silver belt.
I didn't even
So he
notice.
changed his energy. And then here, his first win, he Hankas him.
He Chiyoshoma.
Chiyoshoma. He took the energy off him, and then
He
from there
stole
he went
his
down.
energy.
He stole Chiyoshoma's energy.
Now we know what happened. Why he was 4-11.
There it is. There it is.
Okay.
There it is.
There's the 2 fake points that
There it is.
are
Those are 2 big
fantastic.
points. Okay, so another thing to keep in mind: who he fights. Tamashoho, wrecked.
Yep.
Ryuden, wrecked. Nishikigi, wrecked. Tochi Taikai, wrecked. Shonan no Umi.
he always finds a way to fight him,
So
despite the massive.
all these guys were in a disaster,
And Midori Fuji's too good to lose to Disaster, guys.
which is good news for us because it means that Midori Fuji is better than this. He's
Yeah.
better than the people below him.
We always have to keep in mind, and I don't know if this is true anymore because I don't know how big Asakuryu is, but Midori Fuji has been the smallest man in sumo for years. By a lot. He's smaller than Enho even, which boggles my mind because he looks bigger. To stay in the top ranks like this with his small size, even his stablemate, Nishiki Fuji. See, I want to make sure I'm not saying Nishikigi. Nishiki Fuji couldn't hang. Midori Fuji's a talented man to be able to stay up here at his size. Many small guys can't do it.
So a lot of this other stuff here, like we're saying, these are just bigger people that he's losing the ability to deal with, which is not a problem.
Because the truth is he has to be so fast because if they catch him,
Yeah.
he's a feather to them. And so most of the time he loses, he's blasted
Yeah,
out.
it's also like it is pure physical. Shishi just bodied him. Kimbozan, power, Meisei, bulldozer drive.
Even Shodai.
Shodai woke up.
Yeah. Well, Shodai's like, oh, it's a little man.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Also, Shodai probably had time to set up, but
Good point.
so this I would say is the more important part. Also worth noting is when he gets demoted, he's going to be fighting more of this and less of this.
So we might get another 10 and 5.
So he'll rebound, I think. Also keep in mind, Aonishiki, he's not going to be fighting him next tournament.
No.
Kimbozan, no. Meisei, nuh-uh. Oshoma, gone.
No.
Tobizaru, maybe.
Probably.
So you take some of those losses and you just he's going to
He'll
fight
have a much better tournament
much
next
better
time.
tournament. And again, this is all pure Midori Fuji doing what he does best, fighting bigger people, but kicking their butts because he's Midori Fuji. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
So 6-9, but don't worry,
He'll be okay.
And also, the most important, if your energy's wrong, change your belt.
Yeah, apparently.
Change the belt.
Although I have to say I love the red belt, but the red belt doesn't work for everyone.
Well, I think sometimes like his energy, he just needs to change. Like there was one time he had the silver belt and he changed to the red belt.
True.
And that salvaged. And then his red belt ran out of energy. He had to change back to the silver one.
Right. He's that kind of guy where he needs to find these little things to perk him up. When's he going to get the green belt? Come on. Midori Fuji.
He does need a green belt.
Midori.
He gets a green belt at Zensei Yusho.
Just saying.
Just saying.
He's got to find the right shade, though. What do you think is the right shade? Is it the dark green or is it the lime green of Chiyomaru?
He's not. I don't know if he can lime green.
I don't think he can either.
There's not a lot of people who
Forest
pull that
green,
off.
maybe.
Sort of like a crayon green.
Yeah. I want to see like green, not these darker shades.
I'm pointing at something
Yes.
that you can all see.
The John Deere tractor
Yes,
color.
tractor green.
Tractor green
There it is.
for Midori Fuji.
I think it'll work.
He'll get a special prize.
At least.
Come on, man.
Just saying.
It's on the nose.
It'll help. It'll help immensely.
It'll help me.
Yeah. You've got nothing to lose.
At this point, no.
Yeah, I mean, you've got like $40,000 of that it would cost to make the belt and everyone,
True.
but really nothing to lose, honestly.
Maybe someone will gift it to him.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, get him the gift.
Exactly.
Come on. It's Midori
Everybody
Fuji.
knows he needs the green belt.
It's Midori Fuji. It's worth it.
Maybe he's afraid that if he goes there, that will be the pinnacle of his career. And he's waiting. He's waiting to get
Oh, do you think it's like
Sanyaku Midori Fuji.
it's sort of like it's the superhero costume in the back?
Yes.
That you're just like, I can't bring it out.
I'm not
until
ready.
It's time.
Yeah. I'm just not there yet.
All right.
Come on.
Keep an eye out. Keep an eye out. When he gets the green belt, it means it's his run.
It's exactly.
It's his run.
Ozeki.
Again.
Hey, we can dream, right?
I'm dreaming with you there. All right, so Meisei, we were talking about this. He's doing well. Now we're gonna get to the part of the Banzuke that like we're gonna forget that these people were here because of all the hype that's been going on. But there's still a lot that's been happening.
There was a point where I think Meisei fought. Who did he fight? Oh, goodness, I can't remember. Meisei fought somebody, and the 42 Opinions people were like, and another match we don't care about. It had gotten to that point where you just couldn't pay attention to Maegashira 10 through.
So, like, I mean, just all the stuff we've already talked about. All the people are just hype and crazy stuff. Highs of highs, lows of lows, broken bodies.
It's like, who cares about your incremental improvements?
But yeah, like, here's Meisei's moment.
Yeah. In the shadows, Meisei rises.
And because this is what we were hoping he would do.
And it's been a long time since he's...
And so here is our back-to-back 9 and 6s fought with consistency. Because we had look at this weird, up and down, and then he's down, and now he's back. Maybe we'll go down again, but...
Yokozuna energy in the stable, maybe?
Maybe. But, like, this is... His aggression is focused. He's going more on the belt on these drives. And there's a stability that's helping build this revival. He's also showing some, I think it was Kim Bozan, like had him on the back foot, had him against the ropes. This is Kim Bozan, who's just blasting people up. Legendary hold. Mm-hmm. And then he finds the way back into the match and the way to win.
Yeah.
This is like that kind of grit. Like that was what we already knew Meisei had. It just, he couldn't get it out there anymore.
Right. There was something standing in his way. I'm not sure what it was, but it seems like because 2 in a row, something's clicking. Something's working again.
He's doing more belt stuff. It's not a lot of the stuff like his early Sekiwaki Meisei where he was like super fast and super lateral. Like that stuff just didn't work for him anymore.
Yeah.
Now he's going more power. Now he's doing more belt. Also, he beats where are you? Hakuoho on the belt.
Right.
This is Hakuoho's fighting really well. And
the thing is he's been Hoshiryu's training partner for so long, you would hope and assume that he'd pick up a lot of skills from that.
This is something that's also happening with Koto Shoho, is that you can see them sort of adopting
what their
higher
rankers
seniors are doing, and it's starting to work for them too. And the ability to evolve your game at this level is so difficult. Like we always talk, we always talk, like we did this with Goniyama. Like you need another gear. You need to figure something out. Like we say that as
like it's so easy.
Yeah, like we're going off to the grocery store to get a gallon of milk. It's not that easy.
No, and
that's why some people never get to that higher level.
Right. If it was easy, everybody would do it.
It would be fine. Like you just show up, be like, I'm Oshi today,
and it would be boring. Sumo would not be fun without the struggle. I don't think.
Meisei is transitioning his sumo to one that is able to get him these wins, and he's more consistent in the wins.
Yeah.
You look at him and he's like, okay, I know what he's going to do, and he's doing it well. And he still has the lateral movement, he still has the push to fall back on.
But it's not what he's focused on.
Correct.
And yeah, consistency has really got to be your goal when you're a Meisei. You can't worry about these big lofty things. You have to just got to get in there and win every day. Each day is a new thing. You've got to get hyper focused because things have been going wrong for so long. Mm-hmm. And if he gets focused enough, he may find himself in a very good position.
Beats Roga on the belt too, by the way. We talked about Roga before.
Mm-hmm.
So, looking good. Just completely
comfortable,
completely overshadowed by the incredible hype that was this beautiful May tournament. But still doing his thing, and with everything else that's crazy going on around him, he may get a higher promotion than we would expect.
And then we get to see the real test.
Yeah,
he's been stuck for a while, so
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see this kind of sumo a little higher up. Okay, time for nap time. Shodai.
I like how Snorlax has now been passed on to Shodai.
It's no longer Ichinojo.
Yeah, it fit Ichinojo way better than Shodai, but honestly, Shodai takes too many naps.
So, he does turn on, and a few times when he fights Aonishiki, I think he's just like,
He
nah.
like came out for that.
He came out for that fight. So props to Shodai for showing up. I think who else did he fight? Kimbozan also. He gave Kimbozan a try, and Kimbozan had to dig deep. And then there's a few matches he wakes up, and then
he's like, I'm not losing to Shishi.
Well, here's the thing. He didn't really wake up for Shishi. He was just passively better. And this is sort of something... This is what I was waiting for.
That's what I saw at the end of the tournament for him, by the way. Passively better.
Passively better. So this is like... Yeah, Shonan Umi, Tochi Taikai, Tama Shoho. Shodai asleep is still better than these guys. And this is sort of something I was waiting for.
Yeah.
Is how low does he get that him just showing up starts to win?
Right. Like, when he was done with Tama Shoho... He pushes him out, and he literally was picking his nails.
Yeah. Well, he
looked so bored. I'm like,
when you do grabs with the belt, you'll get your nails stuck or your fingers pinched, and like you'll be like, ow, you know.
But there wasn't, some guys will wait till they're in the back to do that. He literally was like, I guess I'll do this now.
Yeah. I mean, there's that too.
There didn't seem to be a rush of adrenaline at all. Yeah. It was just kind of like...
He was completely calm.
Oh, yeah, I guess I'll do that.
So we are seeing Naptime Shodai beat people, which is hilarious.
He's going to go down lower. Maybe he'll get a better score with Naptime.
I want to see Naptime Kachikoshi. I am...
A whole 15 days of his sleep.
It's
coming.
This is what we have to look forward to for Shodai these days.
I know.
God bless him. I love Shodai. He is a weird anomaly of a sumo wrestler. There is no mold.
I hope when he retires, he gives a very candid interview. We all want to know what was going on in his head all these years.
Ozeki was the worst thing that ever happened to me.
Tell all book.
So that being said, it's still a 6-9. He's still sinking a little bit further down.
It seems to be like whatever.
Now, he's not going to sleep into Juryo yet.
If he gets low enough, he might wake up for 15 days.
Well, keep in mind, this is sort of where I was going with this. When he was Ozeki and he had those Katobans, he would have those rallies where
he would show up. Yeah,
he'd be like, I have to show up. Alarm clock Shodai.
And as soon as he got kicked out of Ozeki, that went away.
It went away. So like he would have those moments. Let me dig him up. That he would be. It would be like he's Katoban, he's gonna Makakoshi again.
And then he would gut it out.
And then he would gut it. Oh, we got it. Oh man, it's been a while, hasn't it been?
Yeah.
There's. Yeah, so he's like right here. He's 1-5.
And then
on Katoban, and he's like, crap. Let
me just do what I gotta do.
Do what I gotta do. And yeah, over here, he is 1-4. He's like, damn it. So that's the Shodai way of
and
Ozeki.
now the reverse is, I don't want to go to Juryo.
So now he's getting to a point where he's in Juryo, he's gonna be like, special price.
Yeah, so, exactly. Could happen.
Things to look forward to for our sleepy giant. Bless you, Shodai. Anyway, so that's also gonna be funny because when he does get low enough that he's gonna start hitting these Juryo people, they're gonna bounce off him.
It's gonna be funny that whoever has to come up and fight when Shodai's down at the bottom.
Here's a former Ozeki. I just do pull sumo. Sorry.
I got something in my mouth. Was it you?
Was it you? I know.
Oh, I've got Mawashi in my fingernail. Okay.
So.
Are you okay out there?
Thanks for showing up, Shodai.
That's all we can ever say.
So, meanwhile, Endo, honorary Ikioi, 9-6. There is no quit in this guy anymore.
No, he's definitely taken the mantle from Ikioi.
He certainly has. He just the crispness of his sumo, the belt work, his aggression.
He knows how good he is.
He does, and he's not scared of his injuries.
No.
Which is a little concerning, but it means that he digs deep and he gets these wins. It also does mean that not only does he crash out and take 10 seconds to get up, but sometimes he'll be like hobbling and walking weird if he stays in the ring now.
Yeah.
I think it was one marathon match, maybe against Ryuden or there was somebody. He went into deep waters with him. He throws him down, and he does like a hobble back.
And it's like, oh, he's not okay.
He's not okay.
He didn't get crashed out, and he's still not okay.
So I'm like, every time I watch him, I'm worried, but he's not worried.
No.
He doesn't care.
He has a singular focus to do sumo.
It is.
It's been his life for so long, and that is the case for many guys, but something clicks at some point where, like, this isn't worth it anymore. That's not happening for Endo.
Not. There's no click. The clicker is broken.
I think he's 35 now, so he could retire and nobody would say anything about it.
He is going to be 35 in October.
Yeah, so if he quit tomorrow, I'd be like, oh, that makes sense. But he doesn't want that.
He doesn't.
He doesn't want to go to Jurio.
It seems like he'd rather die.
Which is scary.
Yeah, I'm a little. I don't want that.
Yeah,
it's just like I want it, but not like.
Like if I'm looking at it as if you were video game or anime characters and you can just live forever, cool. But you're a real life human being.
I know.
Something really bad could happen to you. Please, Endo. I don't know. And with a 9 and 6, he's gonna get a promotion.
He's gonna get a promotion. He's gonna be single digit Megashira.
Oh my goodness, he's not ready for that.
And then we have this wall of Makakoshi coming down from the top 5.
Oh, this is bad timing for Endo to have a good tournament.
Dude.
Oh.
Why couldn't it have been an 8-7? Come on, man.
That 9 and 6 will catapult him up to where he does not need to be right now.
God bless you, Endo. Just whatever you do to those knees, just keep them in stasis. I don't know.
Full body cast when he shows up in July.
One of those, you know those big hamster ball things that they put people in.
Yeah.
Get one of those. Just stay safe. Stay safe out there.
Well, at least he won't be fighting Shishi. Like I said, Shishi is gonna hurt somebody. I promise you. His awkward lack of awareness. He won't care.
Yeah. Well, we can talk about Shishi. He's next. 4-11. So his March is now even more confusing because the way he fought in May was the way that he fought when he was up here before.
And what we expected in March.
And what we expected in March, like, oh, he's back. He's a little quick because he went down to Jury like wrecked people, and we're just like, oh, this is weird. What are you gonna do? And then he comes in March, and he just owns face, and we're like, did you just go into the hyperbolic time chamber? And now in May, we're just like, oh, he's back to stumbling around. And
it's because he got rid of his grab Tachi eye.
Yeah, he's just manhandling people again. And
but he did have the injured thigh, and I'm guessing for a man who's already awkward in his positioning in every way, having an injury is just not good.
It's not good.
He can't fight through an injury like some guys could. Yeah,
so what I'll call his raw power approach is perhaps something that's not going to work on people higher up.
Yeah,
who know how to deal with power.
They're literally going to look at him and see 7 different openings and beat him like
however they want.
Yeah, they could sit there and just like look at their watch and then beat him because he's just so full of openings. These lower guys, they might have a little trouble. Like Midori Fuji, he's just small, so he's got to be perfect. Shishi's a giant. I do have a reference for Shishi now. Oh, now I'm losing it. Is it Lenny from Of Mice and Men? Have you ever read that book long ago?
A long time ago.
So he was just so, kind of slow and challenged, and he loved things so much that he hurt them. Shishi's got a little bit of that energy in him. Like, he loving Toby Zara a little too much to break his arm right off. There's a little bit of that in Shishi. Yeah. I don't quite vibe with the guy.
He's a bizarre specimen.
Yeah, I think he's great for sumo in the sense that I'm endlessly entertained. But I don't get him one bit.
So, for Shishi fans, good news. He is, just by the way the Banzuke is going to work out, he's going to stay in the top division in July.
Strange.
Bizarre.
And watch him do really well.
If you, bad news for people who hate Shishi. He's going to be right there at the bottom rung where his unconventional sumo techniques will be successful.
Because he's bigger than them and they're new to the top division.
And he can just lean on people and tell people that sumo doesn't exist and who will win anyway.
Well, is he capable of beating Mitaki Yumi?
We're gonna find out in July.
I sincerely hope not. I hope Mitagumi is.
Did they fight already?
I'm wondering that myself.
He won.
Oh no!
This was probably a Mitagumi who could not do anything.
Mitagumi
got handled.
Yeah, he's last gasp here.
8-7 at Juryo 1 East. He's back.
Barely, but
barely.
back.
Well,
Poor
he gets to hang out with Shodai again. Maybe that'll pep him up.
Oh yeah, see, he lost his partner, and that's what happened.
Could be what it is. But anyway, Shishi, shine on, you crazy diamond. I will say.
Yeah.
I will.
Don't hurt anybody, for goodness sakes. And anybody who gets hurt by him, foolish mistake on your part. He's got 20 openings. Don't let him grab your arm. Tobizarra won't let that happen again, I'm pretty sure.
It's not going to matter because he's going to be out of range.
Yeah.
Hang in there, Shishi. You'll figure this out.
You're so nice, John.
Like I'm a fan. I mean it when I say I'm a fan of everybody up here. If nobody is a Shishi fan, I will be a Shishi fan. Not because he's good, but because someone's got to do it.
John is the nicest man in sumo as well.
Oh, goodness gracious. Anyway, so Tommy Fuji almost gave me a heart attack. Almost.
Yeah.
He was 7-3. And then
collapses.
They gave him out Nishiki on day 14. That was a bit mean, but
Maegashira 12 though. Like this was the guy who was, a hair's breadth away from a Yusho
Yusho contention. We were talking about he was 1 win away from Sanyaku, and now he is scraping Kachikoshi at Megashira 12 on the last day.
He just doesn't. He just
So-
doesn't have it, whatever's going on.
So he's got two things going for him. One, he's borrowed Terunofuji's arm clamps because Terunofuji's retired, and he actually arm clamped Shishi, which is a fun little irony there.
Yes.
And when he can build up his power, he's got a very strong and unstoppable drive.
He does. He has the makings of a fantastic sumo wrestler.
Yeah.
But things go wrong.
But it's like, so you lose to Sadano Umi. Okay, fine. Sadano Umi's on a tear. Then you lose to Shonano Umi.
You should never lose to Shonano.
So some of it is legit losses, some of it's nerves, and it sort of goes back and forth. Like Asakuryu, he was having a hell of a time of it. Okay, sure. Kim Bozan, that's got to be a rough one to get off. Roga, that's a good win. Kaio, come on.
Right.
I love Kaio, by the way.
I do too.
I absolutely love that round man.
But okay, let's look at him in the eyes of an elite wrestler. He shouldn't lose to Endo. If he's elite, he shouldn't lose to Endo. He shouldn't lose to Sadano Umi. Maybe we give it, like you said, he was on a tear.
Yeah, a good. This was a really good Sadano Umi, so I'll give him that.
So no Endo, no Shonano Umi. I'm sorry, you shouldn't lose to Asakuryu either. As good as he's doing, he's so tiny.
Well, Ashikoryu was beating big people.
I know. Asakuryu.
This is sort of where this gets a little weird for a Tommy Fuji, is that you sort of break things down. You're like, okay, if you're looking at this as a guy who was a breath away from Sanyaku, this is looking bad. If you're looking at this as a guy who was Megashira 12, the losses make sense. And then he got the Kachikoshi at the end, which is good. But
isn't that sad? Because that means he's a Megashira 12.
This is where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
Tommy Fuji is having some sort of a fall from grace, and it is also, I kind of feel bad for him because when they do interviews and stuff like that, they're always trashing on him for not doing well in practice.
Yeah, his stable is ragging on him. If he already has confidence issues, they have made sure to put the final nail in the coffin. It's not good all around. Maybe here's an instance where sometimes it'd be great if you could change stables. I don't think he's ever going to get out of this because he doesn't have the support there. I think it comes from a place of, you're so much better than this, so we're going to do tough love. It apparently doesn't work. I mean, there's a lot. It could be that doesn't work, but it could also be, the health issues. You can't discount them.
You can't discount them.
I mean, if you're not well, then you can't fight to your standard. Throw the confidence issues in there. Throw the fact that, maybe he was great, but not great enough. Sometimes that's true. Yeah, he's got good bones, but he really just can't be that elite wrestler. I don't know.
It's weird. But what I will say is everybody's dumping on a Tommy Fuji now.
Yeah.
So now I'm a fan of him.
That bleeding heart comes out.
It's like everybody's telling him he's bad. He's not gonna make
He's
it anymore.
not bad.
Like,
He's coming back.
he's coming back, guys. Come on, 8-7. This is a step. He stemmed the bleeding.
I really want to see him win a U show just so I don't ever have to think about the one that he didn't get. I would love that to disappear from eternity, but it never will. And this is just rubbing salt in the wound.
Well, anyway, Tommy Fuji, Kachikoshi, positive moves.
Take a breath of fresh air, I
and
guess.
get the good energy. Get the good vibes.
Yeah.
Burn an incense candle. I don't know. So, by the way, were you aware that Takanosho fought in this tournament?
I forgot all about him.
Did you know that he fought for 15 days, in fact?
No.
Well,
I believe he did, but
he did absolutely okay.
my mind skipped right over him.
Yeah. So, it is interesting because he had that resurgence, and now he's sort of, I'll say, falling back to a more conventional veteran stance.
Sad to see that be the case.
Sad, but this is more of I'd say this is more of the Sada Naomi kind of a veteran that he'll have his moments and then he won't have his moments. Sada Naomi's gonna go up there, he's gonna get slaughtered.
Yeah.
We look at Endo, we see a 9-6 at Endo, we're just he's still with us.
Yeah.
Takanosho 8-7, solid
for him.
Earned every win of it, kind of an 8-7, and also bulldozer power against some bigger people. So here's Shishi, knocked the hell out. Win against Asakurio, which is pretty big because Asakurio was handling larger people.
Yep. That kind of messed his momentum up a little bit.
Here's Ryuden. Doesn't care if he's big. I'm just gonna push you out. So Takanosho, the core of what he was good at is still there, and he's still able to apply it.
And of course, I'm always happy for him because I know Takakeisho is coaching him. So I want to see improvements and signs of the coaching. So
this is some improvements. And we will also see some slowing down a little bit, which is the more of the veteran side. He's starting to get timed a little more now. Beforehand, you couldn't time him because he was always so perfect. Now that's starting to fall away a little bit. But still an 8-7 on his brand of sumo, looking fine. So we're not gonna have to worry about him falling apart anytime soon.
He's doing what he needs to do.
And when you're in the veterans bucket,
that's good enough.
That is good. Congratulations, 8-7, looking mighty fine.
Get a little party when you go back.
Yep. So it's a little one.
Yeah.
So, well done, Takanosho. Toki Hayate, another back-to-back Kachikoshi. This guy could not catch a break, and now he's getting it where he can.
It's finally coming together.
So he is showing a persistence. This is also a guy he is always trying to find a way in. He sometimes he can't find it. Sometimes he's just outmuscled or outclassed, or he just can't handle it.
Right.
But he's always somebody who is trying, and that that little engine that could kind of a thing. When he fights Roga, this was probably the big one. Mm-hmm. They were grappled up. He just kept attacking, and Roga wasn't attacking. He was defending, and that was the difference.
Once again, what you said earlier, whoever was on the attack seemed to win the matches in this tournament.
That's what it is. Now he had the last day, maybe a little bit of luck, maybe not. But first off,
you take it.
You get that win, it's yours. They can't take it away from you.
Doesn't matter what happened.
Also, he got to 7-7 on his own. He made that opportunity happen.
Right. If he didn't put himself in position, he doesn't get the Kachikoshi on the last day.
Yes. So probably Toki Hayate's biggest problem is that he can't reverse momentum. He's good at building his, and he's good at keeping it. But if somebody gets the momentum off of him,
it's over.
So this is why he has losses to people that were not doing too well, like Nishikigi and Ryuden.
It's almost like for them, it's oh yes, I got this match.
So they are able to find a way in.
Yep.
And where most other people are able to undo it, are able to sort of wrest their own control out. That's Toki Hayate's problem right now. That's what he needs to work on. But Churanaumi, he did a really slick arm pull throw reversal.
Yeah.
So if he does more stuff like this, he's gonna fix that real quick.
Right. Just sprinkle him in at the right time so you don't become predictable, but it totally throws your opponent off.
So he is he is somebody you may find his ceiling soon, but he's been a lot of fun to watch. He's got a lot of effort. He's a A for effort maximum kind of a guy, and it seems that like now that he's settling in, he's figuring things out.
Right. He needed a little time. Some guys need more time than others. He needed more time to figure this whole top division thing out. So and he's finally done it.
He's done it. Well done, Tokuya Hayate. He's gonna be out of slapdown range if nothing else.
Yes.
So a pleasant surprise. Sada Naomi, 13 West, 10-5.
Let's take this into consideration. If Tamawashi was not here, this 38-year-old man would be talked about a lot more.
A lot more. He turned 38 this tournament.
In the tournament.
Ancient by sumo standards.
Absolutely.
And by some other standards too. Like if you're an anime and you're 38 years old, you're just an old man.
Yeah.
You're an old man, sorry. So
it is what it is, you know? It's middle age, it's elderly by sumo standards.
And the thing is, like, he was fighting like he was 10 years younger because like there were a lot of closer matches. And particularly ones with Meisei and where's the other guy? Tochi Taikai. Where these were people that were giving him power, and he just gave it back. He just like, I'm just gonna be stronger and faster.
Right. He really leaned on those veteran instincts, almost like the pattern of I know what to do here, and I'm gonna do it well. Also,
when he fought Atami Fuji, he did the same thing that Kirishima did. That he got Atami Fuji up to the ropes and he did a sick ass leg trip.
That was sweet. I didn't expect that from him.
This was day 5.
Yeah.
This was early on. He's pulling out the tricks.
The competitive energy in the tournament sort of permeated everywhere. And it woke Sada Naomi into I'm here. I want to fight. And that happens. It's contagious.
I love seeing this.
Yeah.
And what also is going to be funny, he's gonna pole vault up a little bit. He's going to get beat up, but... he is in it, guys.
Yeah.
We're not losing him anytime soon. When he did that dip down in the jury, I'm like,
got a little worried.
This 10-5, I am not worried anymore.
He's not a Jurio man. He'll never be a Jurio man in his entire career.
He got a special prize.
Yeah.
Special prize, baby.
He got that, being around a while, you don't have to earn your special prize.
Yeah. It is interesting because for him it was unconditional.
Right.
For Asakuryu it was conditional.
There's two parts to that though, in the sense that they really like to inspire the guys who are up and coming to fight harder. They don't really need to inspire Sada Naomi. He did what you shouldn't be able to do at his age, so they're like, you earned it.
You did.
But you do also have the Japanese thing.
It's a little bit. But extremely well done, Sada Naomi.
Yes.
I'm tempered expectations for July. I don't think he's gonna. I think, like you said, there's just something in the air that really brought it out of
July
people.
might deflate some people.
Excuse me. Expect a little of that, but in any case, well done.
Yeah.
So Koto Shoho,
he almost does it.
Oh my goodness, this right here, this 6-1. I was like, holy crap!
I thought he was gonna do it.
I thought he was gonna do it. 6-4-5. So here's a guy. This is also what the 5 loss handicap looks like down here.
Yeah.
But so it is now. It is still a 6-9 ultimately.
Yeah.
In terms of the records, but he is, like we were saying before, he is borrowing a page from Koto Zakura.
Yes,
and
he is.
This is a very good sign because his brand of sumo was not getting it done for him, and he couldn't figure it out. And now he's doing this really good grapple sumo, this belt work, and also like Shishi gets on the belt. Ryuden on the belt. He doesn't care how big or how long you've been doing this. He's just I'm gonna do it.
Right.
It's a confidence.
It did. It should help him build that he succeeded in those matches.
Yeah. Also, the Berserker did come out against Thomas Shoho. He beat him silly.
Well, Thomas Shoho has a little bit of that little brother energy to him.
Yeah. So I mean, it always sucks. This happened to Chiyoshima too when he came back. That he had those 5 lost by, and then he did really well.
Right. He succeeded though? I think
the next time around he succeeded.
Yeah.
And So like in Chiyoshima, it was a 5-5 and 5. You're like, he came back. It's like he was like, damn, I wish I had more of you. And this is what I'm feeling like for Koto Shoho. It's just like, I wish I had more of that, because I think if he fought those 5 days, he would have gotten those 2 wins.
Yeah, I do too. So hopefully he'll feel that way too. Like, okay, I got a 6-9, but I came back after not fighting.
So, and also him coming back gets him out of the demotion picture.
Right. That's the reason he did.
Which, yes. So he succeeded in that. And I am looking forward to him in July, because he's going to be a little bit lower. And if he fights nearly as well as he did in May, 9-6.
Yeah,
Easy.
I think there's a real strong possibility we get a good result from him in July.
I'm extremely...
Just get the vibes, you know?
Extremely looking forward to this. This is a question I need answering.
Yes.
I was just like, did you figure it out? I think you figured it out.
Please do what you were doing.
Please, more of this. I like this flavor of ice cream. Hootie, where'd you get this? Oh, it's just a sample from Cold Stone. Damn it. Anyway, so another person who's pleased to see that they're doing it. Roga, 9-6. This is not a special prize, double-digit wins kind of a comeback, but when he fell out, it was because of the injury.
Not because he
wasn't doing too well, but there's always the concern that, like, when an injury benches you, like, how much are you going to have when you come back?
Right. Can you actually get to where you were?
Exactly. And he was able to find that slow, steady, powerful sumo that got him up to Megashira 8 before he dumpstered out in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Now, 9-6, what's interesting is some of his losses are against some of these new hotshots. So here's Onokatsu, here's Asakuryu, here's Kaio, here's Toki Hayate. So it's interesting that he's only been gone for a few months, but now, like 4 months ago, Asakura probably has his number, or maybe Asakura is one of those weird rock paper scissors things. But sort of the general idea of these people, he's been gone for 4 short months, and all of a sudden
makes a huge difference.
All of a sudden now these people are contenders. Now everybody else is leveling up, and Roga has to sort of get back on the bike.
This is what Wakataka Kage found himself in.
Exactly.
But Roga's not quite at that level. I feel like the 9-6 is good, but I did have moments in the tournament where I'm like, this could have been a better tournament for you.
I admit to having higher expectations that were like, okay, now that he's back, because he just bounced out of jury like it wasn't even a thing. We're like, okay, he's gonna get a 10-5. He's gonna be back to where he was like immediately. But the 9-6 still good.
I feel like he could have beat Toki Hayate, he could have beat Kaio, and then we're talking about 11-4
special prize. Yeah.
So he's got to go. He's got to do some work.
Not as much of a win as maybe we had hoped, but it's still a win, and it's still him fighting his way, and that's another big thing.
Exactly.
He wasn't struggling. It wasn't like, oh no, the leg. It was more of a.
It just didn't work out.
It just didn't like some guy just got the better of him. Some guy just a little hungrier.
Right, and maybe he's a little more tired. Maybe he needs a little more time with the injury. So just to see forward progress is
more progress, and then
better.
July will now be the. Okay, you're closer to where you were before, so now here's a real test.
Right, exactly.
So, all right. So now we're going to talk about some sadness for a little bit.
Sadness for a while.
For a little while, Ryuden 5-10. We were afraid of this.
It's been coming.
It's been coming. He's running out of tools in his toolbox. And so beforehand, like his resurgence, he had the bear traps. The bear traps are gone. It's more that he can just hold on to people and be big and outlast them. And then every once in a while he'll get a good drive in. And things will just work. But more often than not, it's just I'm big and I'm going to hold on to you and you're not going to be able to let me go. People can deal with that now.
Mhm. Now, Ryuden's funny because he's been on the decline and then bounced back up and then on the decline. Yes. But it comes to a point where the decline is just way steeper than the last decline. The thing is also like when he was declining, typically it was he got a little too high or he would be injured or there'd be people that would be countering him specifically. Right.
They're like Ryuden's not doing well because they know that if Ryuden gets the belt, it's over and they lose. So they're blocking him out. Now they're not really blocking him. They're not really like Ura fighting him.
Right.
They're like, we know your strategy. I have a specific strategy for you.
Right. They're just handling him immediately.
Yeah. So
not a good sign.
bad sign. This is the bad kinds of loses, bad kinds of fades. He might be in Juryo.
That's
wild.
wild.
Think they will save him. I think they're going to say, you're a veteran. We're going to just treat you right.
Give you another shot.
Give you another shot. But we're starting that conversation with him now.
Yeah. I won't be surprised if they demote him.
It'll be, well, guess the Banzuke. We'll figure that out together.
Yes. Can't help but speculate.
Or we won't. We'll just guess.
We're like, let's just rock, paper, scissor it.
I think he gets the veteran's last stay of execution.
They do like to do that.
They do that. He's a veteran. You know, he's earned it. He's earned a break. He sort of got one last tournament too. But anyway.
Well, some guys get multiple breaks.
He gets, Toby Zero.
Shonan Umi is not getting a break.
He's not getting a break.
He's going.
Dude. He's gone. 5-10. So I was hoping he'd wake up in week 2 because this is sort of the pattern that he'd have struggling with the timing, with the offense, but he was lacking in aggression the whole time.
He was a non-factor in this tournament. Like, there's some guys who are like, "Wow, that was a good match." Just like Shonan Umi,
Yeah. So he does get. So there are some matches like when he fights Roga. It was a pretty interesting match. Like he came alive. It's a little bit like Shodai, except for Shonan and Umi, you can't but feel like he doesn't want to be asleep.
Right. He's like trapped in his own body.
He's trapped. He doesn't like he's trying. He just can't get it to work.
Right. Where Shodai is just like, I didn't want to try today.
Yeah. Shodai is a rollover. So he is unfortunately gonna be dumped. There's no saving him. He's back in Juryo. So the long-term hopes now begin for Shonan Umi and this has been happening sort of consistently, that people go down in the Juryo and they're like, these people have no business dealing with me. And then they come right back.
Right.
The hope is that Shonan Umi will sort of just be in the penalty box and then he's going to come back and everything's going to be fine. But now it's up to fate.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
You hope you don't run into some really good Juryo guys. Good thing you won't be fighting Kusano because he'll be out of there.
Well, he may be a visitor and fight Kusano.
True.
Though Kusano's going to go high up, actually. He'd be like 13. So we'll get.
I can't wait to talk about him.
Oh, man. So, Shonan Umi, we hope to see you again.
Parting words.
My new favorite.
He's so your kind of fighter.
Oh, my goodness. Kaio.
He's delightful.
His roundness.
His yellow belt.
The pastel colors. The big body, and the fact that his massive Kotozakura tree trunk legs give him supernatural movement.
It's your mind can't comprehend what you're watching.
Dude, he moves faster than people half his size. He moves like Asakoryu.
Yeah, it's strange. The sun moves very fast.
Dude, the sun is going all over the place today. What the heck? It is one of those things, like, I sort of wanted to sit down and talk about all his wins and all his losses, and he's like, on this day he did this. Let's settle down, kid.
But there's some Kaio fans out there. They want to hear about at least some of them.
So the big wins was out-reflexing Sadana Umi, who we just got talking about, was doing pretty well.
That would typically be the type of match that a guy who's just coming up would lose.
Yes. Also, he beats Roga in this similar, like, he just like outmaneuvers him.
Right, because he's so much quicker than people expect.
So
and he's always moving.
He's all over the place. Forwards, backwards, sideways. He had this, I think these first 4 days were nerves. I
believe that, yeah.
Because like looking back on it, you're just like, you could probably beat Ryuden.
You could beat Nishikigi.
Yeah, like the day 10 guy, Kaio, who beat Sadana Umi, like, you put him in a time machine, like 2 or 3 of these are wins.
And there's like nothing you could do about it because you can't help but be nervous when you come up.
And we've talked about this in the past about the jump from Juryo to Megashira. It is a canyon.
It is.
So in a way, it's good that he like got it out of his system in 4 days.
Are they going to keep him?
Yeah, he's safe.
Yeah, because he's
safe.
Okay.
He's safe. There is.
There's just too many other people.
Well, you've got some disasters around him. Yeah. And like mathematically, he's here.
Okay.
So, like, they'll dump Ryuden before they dump Kaio.
Yeah. So he's done what he needs to do.
He did what he needs to do.
And now he's felt the top division pressure, so presumably he'll do even better in July.
I'm just blindly optimistic for him. Also, so we're used to there being big man, little man sumo. This is now little man, big man sumo.
I haven't ever seen
Like
big man, little man. What is it?
Like,
what order is it in?
Because we talk about, like, you have Koto Eko, you have Midori Fuji, you have Asakuryu, or like the big man, little man sumo. Like
They're little men that fight like bigger men.
Yes. So now we have Kaio, who is a little man, big man sumo, because
he's a big man who fights like a little sumo.
He's a lot of sumo wrestler, and he just like rockets around.
Did he fight Midori Fuji?
No,
I don't think
too
he
low.
did.
But
I really want to see that match.
Midori Fuji may be in range.
I want to see a Kaio Midori Fuji match.
He did fight Toki Hayate, who's pretty small, and he beat him. He lost to Asakuryu, but this is, well, first off, Asakuryu.
Nerves.
First nerves, secondly, Asakuryu popped off. Oh my god.
Yeah.
There's a lot to like down here.
There is. It's nice when you can enjoy the lower ranks as well.
There's a couple real darlings. So yeah, Kaio. Like you would see him every once in a while. He'd come up from Juryo. You didn't get the full 15.
You don't get
the full experience.
You can't get the experience without the full 15. Well, you know, Kaio gets to be thrown into the ranks of like Tokushoryu and Akisayama. He's just so delightful. How can you not root for him?
It's impossible. Look at that smile.
Yeah, even in the picture, everyone else is super serious. He's like, "Yeah, man,
look at him. He's just so happy." What's there to hate? There's nothing.
Nothing.
He's pure.
He's pure sumo brilliance.
We're gonna find out it's a scandal on him.
Please no.
We're joking. He's fine.
He's fine.
He's flawless. He's
done nothing wrong in his life ever.
He's pure like the morning sun. Anyway, a brief sadness. We'll come back. Actually, we'll stay for a bit. Anyway, Nishikigi, 6-9, had that 5-0 run. Everybody thought he was coming back.
I think this is just an example of running out of gas.
Yes.
He's still skilled enough to come in on a tear, but he's 37, I think.
Yeah. He
just doesn't have the stamina to go 15 days.
This is the reverse of Midori Fuji. And it's the same analysis. So like this chunk right here, these are just here's Aonishiki. Okay. Here's Kimbozan. Okay. Here's Meisei. Okay. Midori Fuji's not going to be able to handle these people. And there's a couple losses in there. Just like, okay, whatever. You go over here, it's the same thing, but it's just in reverse. Here, Shonan Umi. Not going to happen. Kaio had the nerfs. Ryuden. Nishikiji can handle him.
Fuji
Seiyun. He gets the Juryo visitant. Fuji Seiyun had a horrible time of it. You know, Tochi Taikai. Poor Tochi Taikai. We'll talk about him. So it's like these are like it's just like you could have put these people at any point
and he would have beat them.
And he would have beaten them anyway. And then it's just everyone else is just doing too well.
Well, you know, he's got a history with Sadano Umi. So like if he had more in the tank, I think he could have taken him. Thomas Shoho, I'm not a believer, so I feel like he could have taken that one if he was in a better spot. But then you start seeing like Koto Shoho. That's a rough one.
Yeah. It's like you said, if you had it in the tank, you could have taken him. That's
right, because this is the guy who took multiple gold stars off of Terunofuji.
Yes. That Nishikigi is gone.
Yeah, we'll never see him again. It's so sad.
I mean, I will forever keep in my heart that absolute no sell that Nishikigi had when he got that Kimboshi. He just walked back to his starting position, stone faced, sort of like it's like it was just training. Of course. It didn't even mean nothing.
And
he
goes back to the interview room with his glasses on. He's just so delightful.
Complete badass.
But his time has come.
Gonna have to let him go to Juryo. It's just like Shonan Umi, it's the same thing. Maybe he gets down to Juryo.
He's gonna make decisions down there. Like if things are not going well in Juryo, it might be okay. I'm done. If he winds up with winning the Yusho, he might be like, okay, I'm gonna give this another shot. But we're on that fence of when we're gonna hear the announcement.
When's he gonna go?
Yeah.
So we hope he rebounds in July. We hope to see him again. This is the bit of the Okinomi fade, I'm afraid. So.
Right. Could come at any moment.
It feels more like a long, slow goodbye.
Yeah.
But he's with me here.
That's right. He's
with
never
me here.
leaving.
I'm hitting my heart. So, Tamashoho. Making sure 17 East, 4-11. Send him back.
He's not top division material. Nothing is convincing me of that. There's a reason he's been in the lower ranks all this time. That doesn't mean that he can't someday be, but he's
Yeah.
not.
Like this is a clean, cut and dry. He was outclassed.
Yeah.
Like not saying his sumo doesn't work, not saying what he's got going on is wrong, and he gets
Just
some
not
good-
enough.
It's just when he's beaten, it is just he's beaten on power, he's beaten on speed, or he is just beaten on the belt.
He looks like a little kid.
This is just you're fine, you're fun.
Have fun in Jurio.
He did that silly lunging slap down thing that was goofy.
That was so goofy.
It's like there's stuff about you that's okay, but I'm sorry. You're gone.
Yeah, you're just not there. Sorry, buddy.
Sorry, buddy. You're gone.
There's not much to say about him besides completely one-sided losses.
If he keeps coming back up, it's one of those things. It is.
Eventually, you might get somewhere.
It will eventually stick.
But not now.
Not sticking. That fell
These
right
two
off.
top division tournaments were not good.
No. Back in the oven, unfortunately. So, I look forward to seeing you again.
Someday.
Is what I will say for now.
Mm-hmm.
So, Asakuryu. Yes!
So, Asakuryu, the first time I saw him in the top division, which was, what? Is this his second tournament?
Third.
Okay.
So he came up, he got battered down, he muscled his way back in, and then here, we had the discussion, are they going to spare Asakuryu, or are they going to spare Nishikigi, or who's going to go up, who's going to go down? They decided to spare Asakuryu.
And he repaid them.
And he repaid in kind. He made it.
So when I first saw him, I'm like, oh, I want to love him. Because my first favorite wrestlers were Ishiura and I can't remember like the other small guy. But Ishiura, and I did like Enho, but my very first favorite wrestler of all the guys was Ishiura because he was a small man in a big man's game.
Small and jacked.
Exactly. And I was a big Kotoeko fan as well. So I see Asakuryu, I'm like, I want to jump on the train, but I've been down this path.
You've been hurt before.
I've been hurt too deeply. But to see this 10-5 and to see the way he won, it wasn't just like I'm fighting lower level guys. He really fought like a guy way bigger than his size. The key differences are the way he won against bigger guys. So Nishikigi and Roga were just bodying him, manhandling him. He does legendary holds. Iron defenses, locks in, and then reverses once they can't get him out. Yep.
Similarly, puts those muscles to work. This Onokatsu win, he manhandled Onokatsu.
I was
solid.
blown away by that match.
And this is day 14.
Right.
He also manhandles Ryuden, who we just said his whole deal is that he's big and he's not going anywhere. And Asakuryu makes him move.
Interesting that he lost to Kusano, because I think that's more of a comment in a way on Kusano. Like, he's going to be one of those guys.
Kusano is going to cannonball.
He's going to be wrecking people.
Oh, man.
But, yeah, Asakuryu, the thing he has to worry about, like so many of the small sumos, is if he's not constantly moving, all it takes is one really well-timed blast, and he is just flying.
Yep.
And that did happen to him against Takanosho, I think.
Yes.
And I thought, oh, yep, there's the thing I expected to see more happen to him, but
if he won this Wakataka Kage fight, I would have absolutely lost my mind. But Wakataka Kage had an answer, and that answer is, Asakuryu, get out of my ring.
Right. Like, I'm not messing around with the new hot shot. Like,
No,
it's cool what you're doing, but I'm Wakataka Kage.
The fact that they gave him Wakataka Kage is a win for Asakuryu.
Agreed.
17 West, and you're fighting a Kamasubi.
I think they had the same sort of vibe as Ura. Like, people want to see this match.
People want to see this match. Also, they're looking at him and they're like, no, he's doing too well.
Yeah.
Gonna call in the big gun.
We really don't want him here on day 13 with an awesome record. Like, smash him down, please.
Smash him down. So, super well done. I love him to bits, and now we're gonna get to see him. And because he won, like, it's not just that he just it just worked out for him. Like, he
commanded the matches that he won.
He won convincingly. He won in a way that says, "I belong here."
It was very surprising. Like, sometimes with the small men, they get lucky or they find the angle. He was going power for power.
He was going. He stood and delivered.
Like you said, those holds were so impressive. How strong is this guy,
dude? So you want to talk about somebody that you want to watch fight Mitakeumi?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we saw that match once already. I was like, I want more.
He showed promise immediately, but he wasn't ready. Of course,
Yeah.
he's small and he has to face this.
Yeah, when he did fight Midori Fuji the first time, Midori Fuji just bodied him because
Right.
like, Asakura wasn't ready. But now Asakura's ready.
Yeah, like that match is going to be a legendary match.
And Midori Fuji gets the green belt.
Ah,
man. Dude, the ring will be destroyed by the power of that fight.
It'd be like the Cell games when they just blew up the
They
ring.
blew the ring up. The straw bales go flying.
It'd be interesting. We're just going to fight on the floor.
What are you going to do? What do you
Nothing.
do? Yeah.
You just gather around.
The judges get up and talk, which has never happened before. What do we do?
Just sit back down. That's what we do. We pretend the ring did not explode.
Bless you, Asakura. He's going too well. It's too good. I want it. All right. So last up, unfortunately, Tochi Taikai, 4-11.
Not top division material.
This is what happens when you do pull sumo and you don't understand the difference. Pull sumo works. So we had Toho Hakuryu a little while back. He made that little brief stint and he did pull people and it did work. We have Thomas Shoho who can show that pull sumo can work. And we do have Oshoma, who is a master at backward sumo and lateral sumo and makes it work against people it shouldn't.
I would say you can even throw Tobizaru in there.
Tobizaru in there,
he has his own flavor of it.
Flavor. Like this is not saying that pull sumo can't work. It's saying that Tochi Taikai's pull sumo will not work.
Will not work. You either need to figure out what the really good pullers do, or you need to change your whole style.
He does have a really good ring sense, like a Takayasu style. I know exactly where the straw bales are, and I'm not even looking at them. That got him some, got him some of his wins. So that is that he's got that going from him. I don't think he moved forward at all.
Never.
Like maybe one of his matches were a blast out. Everything else, he's going backwards. Going backwards.
Pull sumo, which, by the way, really should be a category now. I know they're resistant. They only talk about push and thrust and belt, but pull sumo is a thing now, and I think they want to pretend it isn't. It can work, but boy, is it the riskiest form.
Yeah, it is also something that you do a little bit lower down.
Right.
One where you just don't have the mindset, because this is a pure instinct. If somebody's shoving into you,
you want to pull them.
You want to pull them.
Yeah.
You want to slap them down. Like that is your reflex. That is
right.
oh wait, I did it and I didn't even realize. That's what your brain says you do. So you have to fight that. You have to bring it in. This is what Onosato did. He doesn't go backwards.
Even if you're, let's say you're defending against a roundhouse kick, it actually is more beneficial usually to come inside. But your instinct is to run away.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just instinct.
Yeah, it's a boxing thing.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to box and somebody punches at you,
you close the distance.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
let them fully extend into your face.
What you're supposed to do is you bring your head down, and then you bring your arms up.
Mm-hmm.
And your instinct, if somebody's swinging at you, is to push, and then move your head away.
But that's when they're going to extend the arm and clock you.
And the problems with that is that if you're moving your head away, your head has no distance to move when you're hit, and also by moving it up, you're exposing the lower side. So, instincts. Anyway, we're getting off.
Well, we're just getting a little off because
off topic.
Tochi Taikai is not ready.
He's not ready. Yes, let's
That's
circle back
the point.
around. You're getting dumped, and there's no saving you. Well, first off, he's on the bottom rung.
I don't think he's coming back for a while either.
I don't either.
He needs a total transformation.
He had his taste.
Yeah.
So he's got that. He can say he was a top division wrestler, but he's got to do a lot more. He's got to do, like, we look at somebody like Thomas Shoho,
and he's closer to.
We're like, there's potential there, but you're not ready. We go to Tochi Taikai and we're like, we turn his test paper face down on his desk.
Yeah. And you're like, please leave the room. We're not even going to grade this.
I think he can. I think there's a way.
In time.
And just we're not going to dump on him. It's just
to get to the top division, you must have some skill.
Correct.
It's just that it's the levels thing.
The levels
Reaching up to the next level is the hardest thing, and if you don't do it, well, then you're not going to be there.
So that's 42.
Wow.
Alrighty.
That was a lot.
Yeah, I'm a bit worn out. Let's go to Jirio before I fall asleep. Just from exhaustion.
Oh, wait. Special prizes.
Yes. Special prizes. Crap. So there was no outstanding performance.
Interesting.
Which tells I think they want to save that for like if Aonishiki was in contention or something like that. But
Yeah.
So we have 2 people at the Fighting Spirit Prize, which is the Kanto show. That's Aonishiki and Sada no Umi. Well deserved. For the Technique Prize or the Gino show, it goes to Kirishima and Wakataka Kage, which is also deserved.
So fitting.
So a lot of people got trophies today, and I think they earned them.
Yeah. So now we can go to jury.
Now we go to jury. Yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
So we have coming up Itaki Umi with an 8 and 7. Kusano with a back-to-back Juryo Yusho.
Time to get on that hype train.
That's
I got some Ono Sato vibes, not sumo fighting wise, but just trajectory. We'll see.
He's gonna make a splash. He's gonna crush people.
Who is his stable master?
He's a Segahama.
Okay. Wow.
He is.
I think he was a Hakuho recruit, wasn't he?
He was a Hakuho recruit.
Yeah, well, that explains it.
The Kusano, the fact that he's not a Fuji,
yeah,
means that he.
But
came from the
that's
other.
because he was actually
so-
a Miyagi-No guy until.
Yeah, so he started last year.
Yeah, like I said, I have Ono Sato vibes of somebody who's capable of really just.
So, he was the bottom of Mukushita. Like I think Ono Katsu, I think, was one of the last people who got the upper Makushita.
That promotion
bye.
thing.
So now the cutting the line is the bottom of Makushita.
And look at this.
And so now he just bam, 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 bam. So there was the talk in March that if he would Zensho Yushowed,
he would have been to top
that
division.
he would have just skipped the entirety of Juryo, but he was a 14 and 1. And
so now he's like, fine, I'll just get 2 shows. I mean, you win money for it, so
you do.
Why not?
So he's just like, fine, I'll go through the trouble. He gets it done again.
Interesting who he lost to. Hidenomi. Must have been day 1 jitters or something.
Could have been. It's just, sometimes people just...
But Tomokaze, interesting.
Yeah, sometimes people just have you. But anyway, he's going to make a splash. Speak Hidenoumi.
Been years.
We have not seen him in a dog's age.
No.
So it'll be fun to see him again.
Yeah. Tobizaru, Brother Energy.
Yes. And we have to go down.
Poor Takeda Fuji. Oh,
Takeda
no.
Fuji 5 and 10. Shirokuma 6 and 9. Kageaki 6 and 9.
Yeah, it's not looking too pretty. Nishiki Fuji 5 and 10.
5 and 10. So yeah, some bad news for some people that we were hoping would come back.
Yeah, we might be seeing another retirement.
Well, at the very
out.
least, they'll be bumming it in Juryo for a while longer.
Yeah, we'll see what Takeda Fuji. I don't know. I could see Takeda Fuji retiring. I think it's coming.
If he loses his salary, then yeah.
Yeah.
We have Waka Ikari with a 12 and 3 Ryusho runner-up.
He's coming up.
So he's going to be someone to keep an eye on. And you are trading places with Nishikigi. Passing of the baton.
Yeah. Isn't that just poetic?
I knew it was somebody. I just forgot who it was.
It's hard to keep track of everybody's stable. It really is. So
that is the guaranteed 4. And this is going to be the $1 million question. So we go back over here. So 1, Tochi Taikai, Tamashoho, Nishikigi, and Shonan Naomi. Nice to meet you. Everybody higher than that is spared. Koto Shoho is spared. Shishi is spared. So then, the mythical number 5, Koto Eiho at 11 and 4 at Juryo 7. So he's mathematically on the cusp.
And they just have to make their decision.
So this is where I think the veteran is going to win out, because Ryuden's mathematically dumped.
Mm-hmm.
So either you dump Ryuden, you have 5 people up, or Ryuden's all the way at the bottom rung, and then Koto Eiho is all the way at the top.
I don't know.
That'll be the decision that we dig into.
Right. That'll be a tough one. It's the bottom will be a mess.
Sure will be. And there's one last final little thing
What we must discuss. This is the last time we will see our dear Hokuto Fuji on this page. As soon as the new tournament comes up, they just scrub all hints that he ever existed. So It's good that we're recording this so we can
Yep.
get one last glimpse. As you can see, his record or his matches will all be gone if you go down. Gone. They are quick. And he's just about to turn how old?
35.
35 in July. So it tells you something about our 35-year-olds.
Yep.
What do you want to say about your dear
He was my boy. He was the big one, and then he was the last one. Because I have already lost Takakaze, I've lost Yoshikaze, I've lost Kaisei, I lost Akishiyama, I lost
Aoyama.
Okinomi, Aoyama. They're all track jacket boys now.
And you've decided you're never having another favorite again?
I'm done. I'm done with favorites.
It's sad, but it's freeing, I tell you.
Well, we'll see how Nishiki goes, but
I was gonna say you're getting really interested.
I probably more like a Kaio these days. More of these low guys. It's sort of my energy anyway.
Right.
Asakoryu. Maybe Kaio. I'll leave the door open for him.
Okay.
But
it's been a beautiful career with Hokuto Fuji. He always gave it 100%. Blood on the dohyo.
Yep.
More than, not since Yoshikaze have we seen so much blood.
so it's true.
And he never hankered his entire life.
Yep. There's still the video somewhere on the 42 Opinions page of me slamming the desk and saying Hokuto Fuji Yusho.
Oh, it's there.
It's there.
You should search for it in honor of him. You know what? I'll put it in the tribute playlist.
Oh, thank you.
That's apparently the only tribute we're gonna do.
This was back when Hokuto Fuji would sort of make eyes at it now and again. Maria and I would always send each other messages just how we're thinking about the tournament, and I'd say what we did 3-0, 4-0.
Yep.
I'd send Maria a message, Hokuto Fuji Yusho. Hokuto Fuji Yusho.
It was the bright spot in every tournament for me. And he came close a couple of times.
He came close. He touched it, but he never got the. It's fine. I'm gonna look. Where is he? There. I'm gonna look at him again.
Yeah, and he is losing his hair very, very much quicker than.
Yes.
I think he should go bald when it's time.
Yeah, he does have elder stock. He's gonna get the track jack. He's gonna do that. So I'm looking forward to seeing him on a ringside. Sort of like we'll see. We see Goedo on the ringside. We see Kiseno Sato. God, Aonishiki's.
It's something interesting, right? When you finally watch sumo long enough that your favorite guys are on the sides now, and you're starting to pay more attention sometimes to
the ring people. But anyway, yep. End of an era for me.
Hey, maybe they'll do a moment where we have Kaisei, Aoyama, and Hokuto Fuji all together at the same time having a beer.
And a beer. Or maybe they're all gathered around a stretcher.
But they're looking at someone else.
They're looking at someone else. It's fine. It's fine. Alrighty, so May. I don't think we're gonna have a basho this good or this crazy for a while.
Yeah, I
for
think
all sorts of reasons.
Things will settle down. They'll either settle down or get chaotic. One or the other.
Yep. So in July, as we mentioned, there's a lot to look forward to. We have a new Yokozuna. We have a new Sumo Arena.
We have a rivalry
in the making. We have the starts of Ozeki runs.
Mm-hmm.
We have some rising stars in contention range. And we're going to see Kusano in the top division.
Yep.
There's a lot. There's a lot of momentum from May that's going to come crashing into July. July already, the Stormy Basho.
So feel very happy for what is coming. But yes, July is the trickiest one of the year with all the heat, which means anything could happen.
4th cup for Mitaki Yumi.
I was just thinking that. I'm like, Mitaki Yumi's coming out of Juryo in time for the July tournament. Let's just let that sink in.
Let's do it. Come on. Retires with the cup in his hand.
Beautiful. It would really bode horribly for Onosato and Hoshoryu.
Oh my goodness.
But at least he's a former Ozeki.
Yeah. He'll win in the Yusho playoff.
Yeah. Oh, you're predicting some stuff there. We've seen crazier things.
We've seen crazier.
We saw the 3 years in a row of lowest guy on the Banzuke winning the Yusho. Wildness.
Tokushoryu. Oh.
The return of Tochinoshi and the return of Terunofuji. We're due for something wild.
Well, maybe a little bit of wild, but at the same time, we are settling into a dynasty now.
We are. The top guys are finally the top guys.
The top guys are here to wreck face.
So good luck with that. Well, thank you all for coming as usual.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for your time. Another shout out to the Sunday Morning Sumo Show for having us, for hanging out with us.
And guys, if we get to 1,000 subscribers, I will do a very awesome live stream. So encourage the people you know.
Yeah.
I think we're at 700 now, or close to. Help us out here.
Help us out.
You know? All right. Enjoy, and we'll see you in the summer.